Stays crunchy. Stays crunchy. And milk.
Promise you, Dan was not supplying Diddy lube. It just happens to be that he got a lot of lube. What you supposed to do with that, man? I mean, it just happened to work out that way. He ain't have 1,000 bottles of lube.
I mean, would you look down upon me if I were?
If you,
it's not like I knew what he was doing with it.
Yeah. You know, who am I to deny somebody buying in bulk?
Yeah, it would kind of make me a dick if I didn't sell it to him.
Man, that's it's not wild to me because for years now I've been hearing about that man being that man. So it's just like, oh hey, that all has come out now. That he's a real shitty person as it turns out, and here you go.
I saw Josh Johnson. I follow him on Instagram. Like, I actually followed his YouTube a couple weeks ago too, but I haven't watched any of his like full stand-up stuff. But like, I like that his stand-up kind of has like a Dave Chappelle vibe about it sometimes, where like he's telling jokes, but it's more like he's telling a story that just happens to have jokes in it.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how Diddy's father was in with the character that Denzel Washington played in American Gangster. Like, Diddy was actually running. His dad was actually running with that dude when Diddy was a kid.
Oh. So
he's like, it's not really surprising that like Diddy learned some shit, because his dad literally was just hanging out with one of the most notorious like dudes in that world in American history.
One, I didn't know that, but it's like, so in my mind, the story of P. Diddy was always he went to Howard, so he went to real. That's like, it's like the Harvard of the black colleges, is what they call that. So it's a real prestigious school to have attended, and then he worked at University.
So it's a HBCU.
Yeah. So I think it's down there in the DC area, and and he worked at. Was it Universal? What was the record label that he worked? Uptown, which was a company, a record label that was started by Andre Harrell, and he got Mary J. Blige up and running, and Jodeci up and running, and of course he had Big over there for a bit before he went and started Bad Boy and took Big with him and so forth, and Craig Mack and all these people. And it's like, I just knew him as a black guy went to college and started doing some record stuff. But then now you telling me, no, that man got a history of gangster in the family. It's like, oh, well, all righty then. I would have never known. I didn't know. So that's crazy. I have to find that. I watch that guy's comedy everywhere because it pops on Instagram all the time. But I follow him on TikToks, and so I need to find that bit so I can give it a listen. But
yeah, I'll grab it right now.
Oh, cool, thanks. But yeah, bro. But then, so I never watched the Cassie video that came out. I'd heard how bad it was, and I was like, I never want to see anyone being brutally assaulted. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good on that. But I'd heard about it. People had described it left and right, and people said, "Oh, I bumped into it here and there." And I don't know. I just got I have my feeds kind of locked down in a manner that has allowed for me to avoid seeing it. But I knew it was bad, and so once that came out, it was all for naught. You know what I'm saying? We knew what it was. But now it's like, people are like, he paid $1 million to have Tupac shot? I'm like, did that happen? Did that show up in the paperwork somewhere? Or y'all just still mad about Tupac being dead and want to blame it on somebody? I don't know. I still remember when people said, if you listen to this song at the beginning, you can hear Pac saying, Suge shot me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know, people. But yeah, man, there's a couple people hit me up today or yesterday in the past couple of days, like, wasn't this episode of Stays Crunchy Milk talking about all the lube? And I was like, y'all not funny, but of course it was actually hilarious. So I'm glad it rung off loud enough in people's ears. It's like, that man Dan got a lot of lube for sale.
I do still.
But guess what? It's not Puffy levels of for sale. So it's like there'll never be enough because that man, Jesus Christ, thousands of over $1,000 of baby oil and lube. So a mixture of the two. So not $1,000 bottles of baby oil. Somebody was joking on TikTok video I saw today. He goes, "Man, I didn't have the same bottle of baby oil for like 6 years." Like, get the fuck out of here. So apparently,
Okay, I found the video. I'm sending it to you.
Oh,
It was actually from April when this all first started.
oh, see, again, somebody who was it? Somebody again, probably TikTok and or on Threads or one of these media sites. They was like, Cat Williams is like Hannibal Buress. Cat Williams to Puffy is like Hannibal Buress was to Cosby. You know what I'm saying? Like the canary in the coal mine. Basically, who was like, oh shit, that's who knew what was up and told. And so I'm like, you're right, because Cat Williams was on Club Shay Shay earlier in the year, and he was like, "What?" The quote is so good. P Diddy be wanting to play, be wanting to party, and you got to tell him no.
Kind of makes you go back and look at that whole Cat Williams interview with like a little more of like, was he like hitting more than he was missing in this thing? Because a lot of people were like, oh, Cat's just up there talking and just saying things and this, that, and the other. But it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of come out of that where it's been 100% true. So
look, I'm not saying what did he, because he said Ludacris was getting fucked for making the Fast and Furious movies. I don't think Ludacris is giving up the booty to star in the Fast and Furious movies.
What he said was he signed himself over to the Hollywood Illuminati to be the token Hollywood black guy, and what comes with that is like a certain kind of wife and certain responsibilities and things that you can and can't do. That was what he said about Ludacris. I don't think he implied Ludacris was taking it in the pooper.
Fair enough, but I just. I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna trust. I'm gonna put a little more faith in Cat Williams just in general because, like you said, more hits than misses. So
that, and it seems like everybody that knows him on a personal level speaks very highly of his character.
Facts. Like I said, I didn't hear anybody. You heard nobody come out and was like, "No, fuck Cat Williams," or "No, Cat Williams wild." They was all like, "No, this man has taken care of me and my family and so forth and so on." So I got to give it up for Cat, man. So guess what? Puffy's a terrible human being. And Cat Williams knew, and he told y'all, P Diddy be wanting to party, and you got to tell him no. It's the best fucking bar. Oh my God. Let me get to it. I'm very excited to do these lyrics. I worked on them a lot yesterday trying to get myself ready for them. Let me sit up. You didn't hear it because you weren't here last week. I was by myself. I did a song's lyrics as opposed to rap lyrics, which I'm about to get back to right now. But that's because Frankie Beverly passed away, and I wanted to give him a sound tribute to send him on his way. But this right here is a song I personally refer to as Black Air Force One. This is about one Kendrick Lamar. And let's spit some lyrics. I think it's time to watch the party die. The shit done got too wicked to apologize. It's different. Get them whacked and disqualified. We even kill the killers because they like taking innocent lives. Burn the whole village, we start over. It's really that time. Why reason with these niggas if they can't see the future first? Why argue with these clowns if the circus is well at work? Just walk that man down. That'll do everyone a solid. It's love, but tough love sometimes gotta result in violence. If you parade in gluttony without giving truth to the youth, the graveyard is company. Just tell us what casket to choose. They party more than bitches. Tell me, what are you working for? They glorify scamming. You get chipped over this credit card. Influencers talk down because I'm not with the basic shit. But they don't hate me. They hate the man that I represent. The type of man that never dick ride because I want a favor. The man that resides in patience. So where the soldiers at? The ones that lost it all and learned to learn from that. A thirst for life. Head inside a book because he concerned with that. Information that'll change his life because he yearns for that. Dedication, finding out what's right because he can earn from that. I feel for the women that deal with the clown and nerd shit. Can't blame them today. They ain't really got much to work with. How many bitches harder than a lot of you niggas? Would trade all y'all for nip. I can't be proud of you niggas. God give me life, dear God. Please give me peace. Did God please keep these lame niggas away from me? Did God keep me shining? The fuck do they really think? Pocket watching, you must be the police. God bless these words. Did God bless how I think? Did God draw the line? They trying to confuse them with me. Did God please forgive me? You knowing how hard I try. I think it's time for me to watch the party die. Get them gone. We gonna watch the party die. Send them home. We gonna watch the party die. Welcome to it. It's episode 551, and that's Word to Hoboken. I'm your host. I am your host, the internet's Tabor 713. Joined as always by the eBay Emperor Lunchbox 2099. What's a good word, bro?
I don't know how any of this new technology works, but I showed up this week. But don't get used to it because you ain't gonna see my ass for a while.
Yeah, you off the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Box is headed to Vegas. Gonna go watch the Browns play the Raiders. A Raiders team that looked pretty good this past Sunday.
Gardner Minshew is the kryptonite of the Baltimore Ravens. He beat them last year when he was playing on the Colts.
Okay. So we'll see what we can do with that. And what's the next week? The week after that, going to Green Bay. No, or just
not
Wisconsin.
Green Bay,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, basically over the border.
Okay. So you'll be.
Damn, I dropped Alan Lazard today, and now this motherfucker's got 3 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. Son of a bitch.
Fuck fantasy football, bro, because it always leads to that kind of bullshit, and it's just gonna make me upset. It's like, no.
I'm 2-0 right now, so like I'm gonna keep my composure, but I'm not gonna lie. On the inside, I'm a little on tilt. But I wasn't gonna start him anyway. He was a backup for me, so it is what it is. Whatever
happened with your buddy who was angry about you giving him considering to give him the Panthers backup?
Oh, that blew up into a ginormous situation. So I had a bad day, and I got into an argument with him in our Discord, and then I ended up muting the channel.
Yeah, you told us that part.
Yeah. So then, like a week later, I was working, and because I muted the channel, I didn't see all the shit that was going on in there for like 5 hours until someone tagged me. And so apparently, like, he like got pissy, and people were sending him troll trade offers just to like irritate him, him and his co-manager. And so he was like, fuck it. All right. And so he just started accepting like everything that people sent him. Like at one point he traded like Justin Herbert for the San Francisco 49ers defense, like that kind of shit. So he was just like, oh, you're not going to do this to me. He's like, I'll accept anything if you all think this is fair and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to be held hostage. And he's like, if you want to escalate, I'll escalate even further. Like that kind of shit. And, so people were just kind of being like, man, you need to chill, dude. Like, it ain't that deep. And they finally had like a kind of like a coming to Jesus moment of like him like calming down and them kind of like backing off. The only reason I got tagged was because like I had picked up one of the players that he had dropped when he did one of those trades. So they were trying to tell me that like they were going to take the player back off my roster and give it back to him, which I didn't care. It's like the Browns running back, so like I was just picking him up because like he was maybe going to get some touches, and it was an insurance policy in case one of my other guys went down.
Yeah,
but so like that's kind of calmed down. I actually just played him this past weekend. I beat him by like 50 points, so that was nice. And then they offered me a trade yesterday, which I declined. A real one, not a troll trade this time, but no, I declined it. So I'm 2-0 in that league, and then the other league I do, I'm 0-2, even though each week I've been projected to win. Mm-hmm. But the first week my team scored 40 points less than projection, and then this past week I scored around projection, but my opponent scored like 40 points over projection. So yeah. That's rough beats in that league so far, but the other league I'm doing well. So hopefully this I'm favored again this week. So hopefully the trend continues.
You got any bread on anything tonight or going into this weekend?
Not currently, no.
All right, great.
I honestly haven't been doing a shit ton of betting lately, which I need to start up again because my fucking bankroll is like half of what it used to be after I took out money for like our Philly trip and magic cards and random shit. So like I need to build those coffers back up especially because I'm probably going to use some of it for my Vegas trip next week.
Oh, you get to go to Sportsbook if you were so inclined. You can go put some money down out there.
I could, but like we're going out for dinner on my birthday, like because I'm flying in on my birthday.
Okay.
And so actually I have to make the reservation. I was gathering up the guest list, so I have to actually make the reservation at the restaurant for that. Now that I know how many people are coming. Okay. If I like, and I'm not like banking on this, but if I had to guess, I imagine that my friends will probably pay for my dinner since it will actually be my birthday. But like, I'm not expecting them to. I just know how they are, and I imagine that it's what they're gonna do. So Friday,
my apologies. I have to get used to we're live, which means we have people in the chat, and I have to be able to recognize that we have people in the chat and recognize them. So my ladies in the chat, work to Vanessa. My man Bill's in the chat. What's good, Bill? And T, your solo show was a delight to listen to today. Thanks, Bill. So
I didn't even realize there was a chat button over there.
Yeah,
hey, I see it. Oh, Illuminati sign. Okay.
Thanks, Bill. But that's what's cracking. So yeah, they're probably gonna feed you, is what you're saying. So that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be an expense that like for a day because like I'm getting in around like 5 p.m. Vegas time. So like there's not gonna be a ton of stuff doing on that Friday other than dinner. And if I had to guess, I imagine the people that are flying in that day are probably gonna go to the Weedporium for some weekend treats.
You gotta go, man. It's so big. It looks so cool.
I've been there before.
Oh, I didn't know you went to that. What is it? Planet 13 or whatever?
Planet 13.
Okay.
I used to have stock in that company.
You told me. Yeah.
I sold it like a year and a half ago, and I bought like Amazon and Apple stock with it, which was in retrospect a much better decision. But yeah, I have been there. Like I think we Ubered there.
Okay.
And it's literally like there's a giant like Scarface like water fountain outside with like their like Planet logo. And then you go inside and it's a giant warehouse like building. Like I think they were adding like a kitchen and shit last I knew when I had the stock and I was keeping up on the comings and goings of that place.
Yeah.
Because they also had expanded. They had a location in California that they had opened up. But I haven't kept up on it obviously since I sold the stock. But I remember they were talking about having like a restaurant in there and a consumption lounge. Kind of like you just go take a gummy and hang out, like just chill kind of thing. So I don't know if they've added those things because I haven't been there since 2019, I think it was, or it was 2019 or 2018, one of the two. It was definitely before COVID
because I think it was the first time you had ever tried weed, if I recall right. If I'm wrong, you correct me. Yeah.
And no, that is correct.
I remember you saying you were in the hotel room and you had got some snacks from like the M&M store or something, or the Hershey store.
Oh, and so like, well, when we went into Planet 13, I had no experience with any of that stuff because I had never done it before. Mm-hmm. So I was just kind of hanging out with my friends. Like there was a group, like a couple groups of us that went in and broke off into like, it was like the husbands and wives and shit. And I kind of just went with my one buddy and his then wife. And, they were buying like a normal, like 10 milligrams each 10 pack of some gummy. And I told them that like I would do it because we were all planning on going out to dinner that following night for my buddy's wife's 30th birthday. Because that was why we were there on that trip to begin with.
Yeah.
And I told them I would take one after dinner. So that next night we ate at Gordon Ramsay's Steakhouse in the Paris. And after dinner, we walked across the street to the Bellagio fountain. And I took it there. We walked down the strip, and when we got to New York, which was where we were going, that was when it kicked in. But as soon as it kicked in, the people I was with they left me because like that couple each had their own health issues, like genetic stuff.
Yeah.
And the wife, she suddenly didn't feel well and wanted to go back to her hotel room. So the whole reason we even walked to New York to begin with, she just skipped out on it the minute we walked in the door. So they left me, and then as soon as they left me, the gummy kicked in. So I had never been high before, and all of a sudden now I was stranded alone. Well, stranded, but like I'm gonna say abandoned.
Yeah.
In New York, all by myself. And so like I didn't know what to do. And then I was like, Vegas, if you've been there or haven't been there, it's a dry heat. And so you get thirsty when you're outside in that kind of environment. And so I just walked down the entirety of the strip and I was parched. Yeah. On top of the fact that now I'm high too. So like I was wondering, like trying to figure out where I could get, I had cotton mouth. So I was trying to figure out where I could get some water. And I saw the Hershey store over there. So I thought, oh, maybe they have something to drink. So I went over there and I grabbed like 2 giant liters of water along with like $35 worth of individually wrapped chocolate. So that was when I had like the Hershey's Nuggets, and I bought like a thing of Reese cups, I think, and some Kit Kats or something like that. And I mean, to cut a long story short, like I had a little bit of out of body experience, went back to my hotel room, ate some candy, watched Food Network, which is kind of where my Food Network traditions kind of started. I just do it every time because it brings me comfort to just watch the Food Network when I'm traveling.
Yes.
But yeah, that was my first experience with that. But I have been to Planet 13.
This my man got stoned for the first time without a Sherpa. That is awful, but also kind of great that you pulled it off. Because that is not something you want to do by your lonesome, brother. For real.
Dude, I was worried until I got back to the hotel room, and then I felt okay.
Yeah. I
was just kind of relaxed at that point. But like going like before all that, like the walk back to my hotel from New York was a stressful situation.
Oh my God. What hotel did you stay in? Do you remember?
At that time, it was still the Hooters Hotel. Now it's the OYO.
Okay.
But yeah, it was definitely a Hooters when I stayed there. Because back then, like, I didn't make as much money as I do now. Not to make it sound like I make a shit ton of money, because I don't. But I definitely make more money now than I did then. Yeah. And I was still paying off my car and having my mortgage. Now, I paid off my car at the beginning of COVID. So, I was also by myself, whereas like everyone else was like a couple, so they were sharing the hotel costs. Yeah. So I couldn't afford to stay in like a fancier hotel or whatever, so I had to stay at like the budget strip hotel, which it wasn't a bad location either because it's right across the street from the MGM. Yeah, and I think it's the Tropicana that's on the corner there, where it's like New York, MGM, Excalibur, and then that one that looks like it's like out of like the 1960s or something like that. Yeah. It's like it's across the parking lot from that one, which I think it's the Tropicana.
Yeah. I stayed in the MGM, which is literally across. Like, there's a bridge that connects it to New York. So that's how I kind of when I went to Vegas on my journey, which is about to be.
That was the bridge that I walked over when I was high as shit come out of the New York, because I had to walk across the bridge to MGM. Then I had to walk across the other bridge to the Tropicana because that was the side of the street my hotel was on. So then I had to walk through the 2 empty parking lots at night.
That's too much.
Glazed out of my mind. It was a lot.
Holy smokes! I can't believe I remembered as much of that story as I did because I'm getting old and forgetful. So, word to me.
People have me tell it all the time. It's like one of like my good ones, I guess. Like if I've got like a go-to, people love hearing that, even if they've heard it already. And like my one buddy likes hearing me tell it to new people for the first time. Like he tried doing that to me like a couple weeks ago. I forget who we were talking to. It might have been people on our bowling team or something. But yeah, he was like trying to get me to tell the whole story again.
Nice. I love it. I'll get down on that one. So I too enjoy that story, y'all, because it's a good story out of box. It's like,
but when I really get in depth into it, there's more to it than what I just went over. So that's what makes it good. Like I gave you the Cliff Notes version of it right now, but yeah.
There you go. Well, I got a few news stories for you, and then we'll talk about whatever Box wants to talk about, and I'll tell you a little something about what I want to talk about, and then we'll do some. You know how it works, people. First story up that I want to talk about is Jim Donovan named to 2024 class of Browns legends. Donovan joins kicker Phil Dawson in the 2024 class set to be inducted on September 22nd, which will be this weekend. This is Kelly Russo, staff writer on the Byline. This is a staff writer for the Browns themselves. So she writes these stories. This is a piece from the Browns themselves. As Phil Dawson sat in his home office, he called Jim Donovan on the phone. Donovan picked up after the first ring, answering with an elated greeting to Dawson as the two exchanged fond memories of their careers with the Browns. Dawson shared a surprise with Dawson. I get the honor to inform you that you will be joining me in this year's class. You will officially be a Cleveland Browns legend, Dawson said on the phone call to Donovan. And I can think of no better honor than to get to make this phone call. On the other end of the phone, Donovan shares his excitement and appreciation on the news. Phil, that is unbelievable, Donovan said. That is so great. That is a great honor. What an honor to go in at all, but to go in with you, wow. On Sunday, September 22nd, the Browns will officially induct both Dawson and Donovan into the 2024 class of Browns legends. They will be honored at the Giants game for their careers with the Browns. To Dawson, Donovan is synonymous with Browns football. He kept it real, but he kept it to a positive tone to it. Dawson said of Donovan's calls, he just always could find that balance, authentic, real, accurate. But he was still supportive, even when there wasn't a whole lot to support. And I know the players appreciated that. I know I certainly appreciated that. He was always quick to try to provide context rather than letting people focus on an individual moment. He really just had a knack for seeing the big picture. It's always go Browns, yet he kept it real and accurate so that everybody understood what was going on. There's more to it, but Jim Donovan has been doing color commentary for the Browns for since the Browns came back almost, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so
it was since 99.
Yeah, so 25 years. And twice in that 25 years, he was diagnosed with cancer and had to take time away. And unfortunately, his cancer came back vicious this time. And so Jim went ahead and stepped down before the season started and announced that he's stepping down and try to do his best to try to, once again, take on cancer and do his best against a disease that is just so terrible. And I love that. I think we all understand that though we would hope and are hopeful that Jim can and will make it, that he most likely won't. And so everybody is trying their best to make sure we celebrate him and give him his flowers while he is still here to receive them. And I fuck with that the long and the short way. And Jim Donovan, one hell of a guy, man. If you go find some of his Browns calls, just great. And so it's just like he is Browns football. It's like if you are like many people in this town, sometimes you got to go places on Sunday and you like, well, shit, I can put it on the radio and I can hear Jimmy make the call. If nothing else, I can hear the Browns playing on the radio if you can't be somewhere to watch them. And he always made that experience just so wonderful. And he will be missed on the radio. And I hate when people say you're fighting cancer because that's not what's going on, man. But, I hope that just healing thoughts to him and happy thoughts to his people and his family, and we hope for the best for Jim Donovan. And Phil Dawson was an amazing kicker for the Cleveland Browns from the time they came back until 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And good guy, one of the guys. I'm like, yeah, okay, we fuck with that guy. So I'm glad they'll be honored by our squad come this weekend. I'm also glad we're playing the Giants, who really, really suck. And I would like to whoop the shit out of them to make sure we do that. So that's what's up with that particular story. Another sports story for you. I actually had no intention of saying this, and then it was like, oh shit, that went down. This is from the AP. Guardians clinch AL playoff spot with walk-off win over the Twins. Cleveland, Andres Jimenez singled home Jose Ramirez from second base in the 10th inning as the Cleveland Guardians clinched a playoff berth in dramatic, fitting fashion, beating the Minnesota Twins 3-2 on Thursday. With Ramirez on second as the automatic runner, Minnesota reliever Caleb Thielbar struck out Josh Naylor, and the Twins walked Lane Thomas intentionally to face Jimenez. Cleveland's second baseman then hit a 3-2 pitch into the right to easily score Ramirez, As the All-Star third baseman rounded third, Cleveland's dugout emptied out onto the field to celebration as the Guardians posted their MLB-leading 42nd comeback win and second straight in extra innings. The Guardians are the second AL team to qualify for the postseason following the Yankees, who locked up a spot Wednesday night. Cleveland now has a chance to possibly end baseball's longest active World Series drought, dating back to 1948 when the team was known as the Indians. The Twins threatened in the 10th, loading the bases with one out against Eli Morgan, but the right-hander got out of the jam by retiring Carlos Correa on a foul pop and Byron Buxton on a liner to right. Cleveland's bullpen, which has carried the team all season, combined for 5 2/3 hitless innings. Rookie Kyle Manzardo homered for the Guardians, who lowered their magic number to clinch the AL Central 2-3. The Twins, who are trying to hold on to a wild card, fell into a tie with Detroit for the final spot. The Twins own the tiebreaker. It's been an unexpected season for the Guardians, who went 76-86 last season while saying goodbye to beloved manager Terry Francona after 11 years. They figure to be competitive, not one of baseball's best teams. But it all comes together under first-year manager Stephen Vogt, who before spring training had never even filled out a lineup card. Cleveland took control of the division in mid-April, and the Guardians have had sole possession of first place for all but one day in the past 5 months. All while All-Star Ramirez, Josh Naylor, Stephen Kwan, and Emmanuel Clase led the way. Contributions from youngsters up and down the roster have kept Cleveland consistently among the league's best teams. There's a little more to that. And of course, like I said, it'll be in your notes. Don't worry not. But yeah, buddy. I really love, well, here it comes down to it. I love Cleveland sports. That's just boom. But I really fuck with the guards because we are not supposed to be doing what we're doing. Nobody in baseball thought we would compete this season. Everybody, in fact, if you go look at the preseason shit, it was the Twins they thought was about to hold it down in Central this go around. With a little love to the Royals, which is weird because, like I said, early in the season, the Royals looked like, but then they kind of played pretty well. And in fact, they're in third in our division and are not totally eliminated if I'm at last check, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at the standings. No. Yeah. No, the Royals are indeed in second place in our division. So it's pop. So what the hell is the Twins and the Tigers playing for a wild card spot, but the Royals is in second place in our division?
I mean, they're all technically playing for a wild card spot.
They just didn't mention in that article. I'm like, wait a minute, that don't the math ain't math in there. So the Royals actually, like I said, probably, you know what I'm saying? That's you guys right now. They got they're 2 up on 2 games ahead of the Twins right now, and the Twins and the Tigers.
Well, because like in reality, it's like the 3 division winners, and then the 4th team gets a guaranteed spot, which right now would be the Royals, I believe.
Yeah.
And so they're saying that the Tigers and the Twins are playing for the wild card just because the Royals are currently winning out of that group. But I think if they the Royals keep falling back, I think they can get leapfrogged, and then they would then be playing for the wild card.
Well, currently the Royals is up 2 games up ahead of those other 2 teams, which is why I'm like, why did you mention the Royals in that article? But I guess because we were playing the Twins, and you can mention about the Tigers and so forth. I get it, but still. Could the Guardians go to the Worlds? Could the Guardians get out of the first round of the playoffs? Is how we should really be looking at this. Because the Yankees is real good. Like Yankees good.
Well, we wouldn't play the Yankees in the first.
No. I'm just doing the math of I'm saying of what will be what here. Yeah, because it would be Yankees. If the Yankees are the top team, and actually let's look at the numbers because I actually think
they're like a game up on us.
They're a half a game up because they're 89-64 and we're 89-65. So that is that a full game or is that a half a game?
It's a half game.
Okay, yeah. I forgot how losing is whatever. Here, in fact, I'll just do league.
I don't know who has the tiebreaker though either.
Yes,
my guess is the Yankees, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. So right now, the American League, if just the American League, so the Yankees up top, then the Guards, then the Orioles, then the Astros, and so that will be your what? So yeah.
I said what?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see how this all plays. The Brewers got in the other night, which I was like, okay, that's dope. Not that I love the Brewers, but I love it. I have an affinity for Milwaukee as a city. You know what I'm saying? Because I like they're kind of like us in that regard. So I don't know. I kind of fuck with that Milwaukee because I like another Midwestern town doing what they doing. I have no desire.
I've never been.
We lost two games to them this season when we played them. So I don't really want to fuck with the Brewers, but who knows? Shohei out there doing the damn thing today, which is insane. He is now 51 stolen bases and 51 home runs, and they have 9 games left, so he could easily get up to 60. So Shohei Ohtani, a man who I'm just gonna say real suspicious that he didn't get caught gambling, but his boy did with his money. His boy supposedly was gambling with his bread. Come on, man. One day they could not let Shohei go down for that one, but just saying. That's all I'm saying, y'all. All right, last story. Shit, I should have did this one first because I was like, man, fuck this story. I'm not doing it. Guess what? JD Vance is a piece of shit who lied about what's happening in Springfield, and of course people ran with that shit, and he's a trash pile who fucks couches. Allegedly. And so I'm not even gonna read you that story because fuck that. I gave you 2 good news stories, and we're gonna ride out with the good news stories and keep them motherfucking moving. Ooh. Excuse me. But you know what it is. First of all, it's always just Tatum. In that case, it means it's time for some story time with Lunchbox. Box, what's the good word? Catch the people up, man.
It's been a while. My cool situation just for okay there. I probably bumped my HDMI cord. Well, let's see. I didn't record the 1 week because we didn't record it as a team.
Yeah.
So that week was pretty much just usual, Pokemon Go and Call of Duty and napping and getting over sinus headaches, And it's all kind of, I'm kind of monotone with it all right now. I'm just trying to replay the last 3 weeks in my head. Last week I wasn't here because I had agreed to go to a work outing at the zoo, which was going to be an evening time thing because it was our Lantern Festival. And I didn't know when that would end. So I didn't want to say that I would be here not knowing when I was going to be home. And so I will admit that I did get home and logged on for a minute to YouTube and saw that you were on here by yourself. And I was like, oh, he'll let me know what comes of that later. And then I logged off the stream. So I did see you recording, but you were already into it. And I didn't really want to get on. I was kind of tired.
No worries.
I just walked around the zoo. I had been to the zoo since I feel like it was pre-COVID because I have been to the Lantern Festival one time, and I'm pretty sure it was before COVID. The one issue I have with it was we went when the sun was still kind of up and going down. So we didn't really get the full effect of the lanterns until we were walking out of the zoo. Yeah. I guess technically I could have just broke away from them because we were all going our separate ways at that point and just went and walked a little bit more around the zoo. But at that point I already did the whole zoo lap. And so I just was ready to go home. Interestingly enough, I did run into someone there that you knew. We didn't talk to each other, but I recognized them after a minute. Their group was in front of us for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far this podcast reaches, but it was someone that you knew that I went and had lunch with one time during work hours.
Huh. Man, I'm considering it. I'm thinking about it, and you'll tell me later when I need to actually have that bit filled in. Worry not. Go on.
Yeah. So it was interesting because it was it was kind of like that drug mart bump into that I had like a couple of years ago, where it was like you see someone and they're pushing a new baby around, and you're like, oh, they had a baby.
That is who I thought. I did not say it out loud. I feel good about that. I was like, yeah, that's who that is. Good.
Yeah. I don't feel like I missed out on anything. Like,
I'm gonna be real honest with you, man. I truly feel like that lady might like ladies, and that's no disrespect.
See, and that was what I was feeling, because it looked like I was witnessing a throuple. Because there was definitely two babies and one dude.
If I'm not mistaken, that actually what you witnessed was that person's brother and his wife. Yeah. So,
but yeah, like what you're saying was the feeling I got from what I was witnessing.
Fair. Yeah, that was which was so weird to me, because it's like when I set that up, because I did set that up. That was a T kind of getting that situation going. Don't say, yeah, I'm gonna go out with this dude, but maybe she didn't know where she was at yet in life. Maybe
yeah. I mean, like it's fair. Like maybe things hadn't worked out for this person, and they thought it was just circumstance, and maybe it was personal preference, and they just can't come to terms with it yet.
Yeah. Anyway, that's of course that seems to always happen to you. You'll be somewhere, and then somebody you just have no desire to see be like, "Oh, I'm here now." And it's like, get the fuck out of here! I don't want you here. At least they didn't like roll up on you, try to converse with you, because that's how it went down to one time at the what was it? It was the silent disco, I recall. So,
well, the thing about all that was like, I saw them from afar, but I didn't put two and two together right away. And then when like we were all kind of like in one of those like enclosure areas where it's like kind of like a covered area that y'all walk into for viewing into like a paddock or whatever.
Yeah.
That was when I looked over and I was like, oh shit, I think that's that person. And so I turned to like my buddy and like my one coworker, and I was like, oh man, I think I went out with that person like a few years back. And then like my one coworker buddy, he was just like, that makes sense. He goes, I have noticed she's been looking over here a little bit, like she knew you. And I was like, okay, so that probably is her then. And then I had said that to them, about like how I knew her and everything. And then like my one buddy kind of started doing that shit that like friends do, even though it's like unnecessary, where they just start being loud and like trying to say shit out loud for other people to hear. And I'm just like, dude, it ain't that deep. I'm like, she didn't want to go out a second time. It's fine. I'm like, it was like 6 years ago. I am not upset about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could reel that back in. And then eventually we got past them, and we lost them after the wolf enclosure with like the little log cabin and everything.
Yeah.
But it was fun, like walking with people from work. Like I do appreciate working from home for like the benefits it provides. I do sometimes miss being in the office around people, because working by yourself in the basement 5 days a week does get old sometimes. And I do enjoy the company of most of my coworkers. Like I think all the ones I didn't like are gone. So when I go to like these functions, there's no one there that I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I have to see this person today or whatever. Like I look forward to seeing like everyone that I work with. So that's a benefit. And so the people I work with, like, they do appreciate my comedy, and they're funny too. So it's a good time getting to make some jokes and make people laugh and everything. You miss that sometimes. Plus getting to like walk around the zoo, which I do like the zoo. They had sent me like a flyer like a month and a half ago about like a discounted yearly membership for next year.
Yeah.
And I was actually going to do it but I just forgot about it. And then when I found the flyer again, they'd already expired. So I ended up not getting it. But they were offering like the pass, like you would get into the zoo unlimited times for the year, and then like you could also get into zoos across the country with it, because I guess they're all kind of like networked or whatever. But like I said, I ended up not getting it. But just, like, it's okay, I guess, because like in reality, how often am I gonna go walk around the zoo by myself? You know, but I do enjoy the zoo.
Yeah,
I have that like duality in my head though, where like I appreciate seeing the animals, but in a way, I also kind of feel bad for them. But they probably don't understand because they've been in captivity their whole lives. I would assume most of them, so they don't understand what true freedom is. So, I guess how badly can I feel? But you know, as long as people aren't going out there and getting them killed like Harambe, rest in peace, then I guess I can't be too upset. Now, we across from the wolf enclosure, there's it was a tiger enclosure.
Yes, the glass box.
Well, where we were at, it was netting, but there is a glass box part. It's like further up. We'd already walked past that area, and which is kind of actually where I think I ran into the person we were talking about. It was that area. So we were standing outside of the tiger netting area before we went into the wolf exhibit. And the tiger was actually speaking, which I never fucking heard a tiger talk at the zoo before. It was just pacing, and it was letting out like these guttural roars, like it was hurt, is what it sounded like. It was, and it was just doing this shit like back and forth and back and forth. And I was like, I started to walk away, and like I looked around my group, and I will make some observations that, let's just say, the white people were the ones that were going up to the fence area, and me and the not white people were the ones kind of like going away, kind of like.
As you can tell, Dan has good sense. Like, let me not fuck with this animal who sounds like he might fuck somebody up any moment now.
Yeah, he's behind the net, but like, how do I know that there's not a hole in the net somewhere I can't see, or he can't get out in some way or whatever? And it's like, I've learned in life that you don't have to be the fastest, but you just have to be faster than the slower one. And I'm not fast, so I need to make some distance, So I did. No, thankfully nothing happened.
For sure.
But I didn't want to end up on the news. So
yeah.
When we left the zoo, went back to my parking spot, and there was like a lot of people coming in the zoo at that point because at that time the sun had gone down, so the lanterns were really popping.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of foot traffic. And walking into the parking lot to get in my car, I knew that I could tell this was going to happen. Because like when we got there, like I said, like it was like the sun was still up. So I got to park in that first little lot as you pull into the parking area. I didn't have to go all the way back to the boondocks.
Yeah.
And so when I was walking up towards my car, like my buddy was behind me because he carpooled with me. A giant SUV was kind of slow rolling the parking lot. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, they're going to stop me and ask me if I'm leaving. So I'm like 4 cars away from my car. And sure as shit, the SUV stops, the window comes down, and there's a woman in the driver's seat. And she's like, "Oh, excuse me, are you leaving?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, cool." And then she goes, "Can I have your spot?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that'll be $10." I was joking, but let's just say it was a young black woman. And in the passenger seat, laying down was a young black dude, and then they had their kids in the back. And like, I just kind of stared at him for a second, and I was like, "I'm just fucking with you." I'm like, just give me a minute. And so I get like back in the car, and I turn like the car on and everything. I didn't rush. Like I turned the AC on, put my seatbelt on, all that shit. Like I wasn't gonna pull out until I was ready, but I wasn't taking my time, like and like making drawing it out. But I I don't mind doing that kind of shit for people if they're polite about it. But they're like, if they just followed me awkwardly and then like sat there like just like hovering over me, then like I would have taken a while because I just kind of like, you know, you could have asked, but like they did ask, so I was nice about it.
You're like,
But I do enjoy the joking, the it'll be $10 or like, you know, someone wanting to cut you in line or whatever. If it, like at the grocery store, if you got a cart and they got like one thing, you know, I do enjoy the little ribbing.
See, I would have walked to the trunk and opened it. Well, like had they not asked and been polite, that's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna go to the trunk like I was actually just coming to get something out of the trunk and going back to the zoo. I just would have put on a whole performance because put some respect on it, damn it. But they were respectful and nice, and so yes, you get. Of course, you give them your spot because
I was wondering though if they had heard like my music playing when I pulled out, because the song that I had on like when I gotten out of the car to go into the zoo was that Bobby Shmurda song, like about a week ago. Like, well, listen, now you tweaking, ho.
Oh man.
So I was like, man, I wonder what they think of me.
Like, this man is all over the place. I don't know what to do with that. Oh my god. So I have not the whatever, but I just think it kind of works a little bit with your. I got. Honest to God, my first work event since we went home next week. I'm actually going to be in a space with a bunch of people I work with, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with that at all. I ordered a fresh shirt that showed up today on my porch, just like this. No packaging, no, just this. As you can see, I'll try to cover. That is just an Amazon tag on the outside of this package. But I ordered a fresh shirt, you know what I'm saying? I got some pants I think it will go fine with it. Just prepared to go do it's a brunch and a town hall is what they are describing it as. And I saw the invite today and I was like, okay, I know a lot of these people. We'll see how this plays. But like I said, hadn't seen these people in person in 4 years. So I don't 4.5 years if we math. And so I'm just like, I don't know. I slightly have nerves, but also not really, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it gets me like a half day out of the office. I'll take it, or not doing sitting at my desk. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, they sent us an invite. I don't remember if it was today or yesterday, but how they had us do that food bank thing last month. They're inviting us to do that again next month. Okay. Because I guess like managers are coming into town from Florida or whatever. Yeah. So they're trying to get us to do more free labor and free charitable labor. Like they're still paying us. And then I imagine they'll probably take us out for food again or whatever, but I'll get out of work for the day. Which means also I cannot participate in your video game thing because they made me use 4 hours of volunteer time that last time, and they're going to make me use 4 hours again this, so I will be out of volunteer time for the year.
Ooh, man! We're going to set us up a good Extra Life campaign, and it's going to be great because Box plays enough Call of Duty. I probably could have held them on for 4 to 8 hours, but alas, they ain't going to be paying you for it now.
Damn.
Oh my goodness! So man, that's solid. I love a good zoo tale. Box and I went to the zoo this one. What did we have off? Veterans Day, and we was just like, I ain't got shit.
Yeah, it was a little chilly outside, but it was still decent enough. I remember we ran into Ant and his family that day randomly.
Yeah, out of nowhere. And the best picture I've ever taken of an eagle or one of our bald eagles at the zoo was that day, and I still really appreciate that. That
boy was posted up in he was posted up there, like in the wolf area when you go through the cabin and you come out that backside where they have like the fountains and everything. He was posted up on his perch right there with all his bird shit down on the rocks for everyone to see.
Man, that bird really shouldn't be our national bird. I'm telling you, man, Ben Franklin wanted the turkey to be our national bird, which would have sucked because we probably could be eating turkeys. But I guess maybe we'd be eating eagles. I don't know. But
I don't know, man. They're our national bird and they're almost gone. So
yeah, but that's just because pollution. So yeah.
Every time I see them, they look so fucking sad. Like, they don't look like the banner of America. They look like they want to be killed.
Or do they perfectly look like the Banner of America because they look like they want to be killed?
I guess that's a fair representation of it.
This is what no health care gets you. This shitty looking bird. See, and the caw, the screech that you be hearing, that you're like, oh shit, is that an eagle? No, eagles don't sound like that. Eagles is wild whack, man. I'm telling you. Bald eagles. Other eagles might be cool, like the golden eagle and so forth and so on. Just saying. We have a selection of hawks that we could have banged with that could have been our set. Instead, they went with that bald ass. Whack, bro. Somebody saw that motherfucker catching a fish one day and thought that shit was majestic as fuck. And that's what that ended up being. So, I don't fuck with Eagles. Man, I really kind of wanted the Patriots to win. Not because I fuck the Patriots. I just hate the Jets. See the bind I'm in.
Fuck them both.
No, yeah, truly, at all times.
Oh, man, that sucks.
What happened?
The Jets just shanked that field goal.
Yeah.
And my buddy had gotten some free bonus bets from DraftKings today.
Yeah.
And he had Jets field goal as their fourth drive result. If they had made that field goal, he would have won $32 for free.
See, when shit like that goes down, like that's a weird, I don't know, not a parlay per se, but that's a weird bet to call up on. And then it actually happens like that, and then they miss it. That feel like some shit was written. like he said some
he literally just wrote in the Discord, "Are you fucking me?" And I replied, "Trying to."
Stupid. Oh my god. Oh. Anything else, man? You want to share with the folk, man? That's been going on with you, if you are so inclined, there, sir.
I had to call a hotel chain today and beg them to cancel a non-refundable, non-cancelable hotel room.
Did you succeed?
Surprisingly, they had a heart. So, as I have mentioned, I have to go to Wisconsin for this wedding in a couple of weeks. And so last week I booked the hotel room. Like the other couple we know, well, I shouldn't say other couple because I'm not even a couple. The other group of people that are married that we know that are going, they rented a car and everything. So now we're going to carpool with them. So thankfully I don't have to drive. At least I won't have to drive much, if at all.
Yeah. Because
I imagine I'm going to be tired coming back from Vegas on Tuesday. To have to get into a car and drive to Wisconsin on Friday will be a little rough on me. So it looks like I'm off the hook for that. But like, you know, I found out where they were staying because there's only like two options really, like the hotel that the wedding was at and then this other place.
Yeah. And
this place was cheaper than that other place. And I have spent an insane amount of money on various things between buying a new bowling ball for my bowling league, our Philly trip that we took like a little over a month ago, all this bookings for shit that I have for Vegas. And like Vegas, I might still be renting a car and, you know, paying for food and random shit. And so I bought a generator that was on sale last week at the behest of my father. Funds are real tight right now. And so like, I went with the cheaper option when I booked the hotel, but coincidentally enough, though, it was also where the other people were staying. So we were going to be in the same spot. So they didn't have to like drive us anywhere or anything.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, there was only two options. So, but when I made the booking reservation, I picked the non-refundable, non-cancelable one because it was cheaper, but by like save like $20 by losing the option to cancel. Yeah. And I was like, well, what do I need to cancel for? Like, I'm going to the wedding. The only way I wouldn't be going is if they like in the next 2 weeks call the wedding off. So I'm going to save the $20. And so I made the reservation. And then last night, my buddy was on the phone with the groom, and he told him that like he booked us a hotel room there. And I'm like, I already booked a hotel room there. So
they got like a bridal party discount situation.
I don't know if there was or it wasn't. I was told that they finally settled his father's estate because his dad passed away last year. And so they were, as a family, like him and his siblings and stuff, were working on liquidating the property and the assets and everything. So I was told that, that all finally was settled. And so he took some of that money to like book the hotel rooms for us because we're all coming in from Ohio.
Yeah.
And so I was like taken aback because like it was a really nice thing to do. It was also unexpected and also put me in a bind because now I have this hotel room that I paid for that I can't technically cancel.
Yeah.
So I had to call, I think it was Best Western, it was the hotel chain that I had to call today. And when I talked to the reservation people, they were just kind of like, yeah, I can't do that. But I'll get you in contact. It was like, I don't know, some other department. And the lady heard me out and she took my info and then she called the hotel and explained to them. And I guess they were able to verify that he made the reservations for those other rooms for the wedding.
Yeah.
And so they went ahead and agreed to cancel my non-cancelable hotel room since we were able to prove that we were actually still staying there and that this room ended up being extra.
Okay.
So they, as a business, had a heart when they didn't have to. They could have easily just told me to go fuck myself and taken my money.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I could have done about it because I technically did agree to a non-refundable room. So Best Western, I guess, will be getting my business in the future until they piss me off in some other way. But for right now, they're on my good side. So Best Western, thumbs up.
Word to B Dubs of a different ilk. Well, I dig that. I love that your friend came through the room for you. That's dope. But I also love that non-refundable is not as non-refundable as you think with a little help from your friends. So, word to.
Yeah, in the future though, the peace of mind might be worth the extra $20, depending on the time frame.
Being able to cancel, yeah, that actually is something. Because I paid for a ticket to fly to Boston to see Doughboys, and then they pushed the show back. And then when they pushed it back, they pushed it in a way that it was Xander's graduation, so I couldn't fly out. And I basically had to eat that ticket because I didn't pay for the refundable one. I paid for they were like, oh, you can just stick the money away, but you got about a year to use it. And then right around the time I was like, ooh, I might be able to buy a ticket to fly to wherever. And I was like, nope. So I ate all of that money. It was like $200 that I had to just eat. And I was like, none too happy about that. That was a couple of years back. Well, when did Xander graduate? Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever that was. Yeah, that fucking sucked. So yeah, you're right. Going forward, I'll pay the extra because I need to be able to securely say no if something comes up that like it did for me and did for you. So I guess that's what being grown up is. Sucks. They always get over on you.
I've been trying to explain this to my brother because it was just like, oh, you got it so good. And I was like, the fuck you mean I got it so good? I'm a middle-aged man who wakes up every day, sits alone in a basement doing a job he don't want to do to pay a bill he don't want to pay. I'm like, how the fuck do I got it good?
They just don't know. And
I know he's 17 and young and hasn't been, hit by the rigors of the world yet. He bought me dinner the other day.
Nice.
And I think it was because he finally started realizing, because I made some snide comments about just how much of my money he was spending on these meals I've taken him out for.
Yeah.
And so he asked if I would do a Pokemon Go Spotlight Hour with him the other night if he bought me Chipotle, which I would have done it with him even if he hadn't offered to buy me Chipotle. But I definitely did not turn down free Chipotle.
Why would you? How'd you do during that community day?
Oh, the ponytail?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I set a personal record for the number of shinies I got, and I was the one driving the car.
We just tapping the thing, right?
No, I was catching them. Like the thing was going at times,
Yeah.
but like I would like I started by the park by my house, and over the 3 hours, I made it all the way to like Baldwin College out in Berea.
Yeah.
And my brother was supposed to come with us, and this is part of where like the comments came in, because he earlier in the week, like I knew that it was his homecoming.
Yeah.
And it was a big thing in that I think it was bigger for my mom than it was for him. My mom, I finally told him, but my mom had asked me not to tell him before, but she had been texting me, asking me to like talk to him to find out if he was gonna let her meet his girlfriend and shit, and because she wanted to take a picture, before the dance and all that kind of shit. So he had told me that he was going to like Akron on Friday night for like a football game or some shit. And because he was like asking me for like recommendations on where to eat. And I'm like, I don't know, motherfucker. I don't go to Akron on the reg. I'm like, fucking Yelp that shit. I don't know. Figure it out. And so, but he's like talking about doing the community day thing with me Saturday afternoon. And then doing his homecoming dance like right after. So I was thinking he was going to show up. We were going to do the community day and like maybe cut it short. But then the motherfucker no call, no showed on me. Like I gave him until like 2:15 and he didn't call or show up, so I left. And then like I got home probably around like 6, a little after 6, and my buddy has like the 2 cats here, and then like the boy cat goes out like multiple times a day for hours at a time. Like it's just shit. He lives to go outside now. The morbidly obese girl cat though, she like hardly leaves that bedroom unless it's to like eat treats off the carpet in the living room or to come down in the basement to shit in the litter box. Otherwise, she's like strapped to that bed. But lately, she has like started having an affinity for going outside herself, but she only does it supervised. So like when we got back, she thought she was about to go outside, but he was going to go in the kitchen and make dinner. And so like she was just kind of like sitting around in the living room looking irritated because she wanted to go outside. I know this sounds weird to say that like an animal looks irritated, but like animals have personalities too, and like you can kind of tell based on how they're acting and the energy they're giving off. And so like I was tired because I literally had just driven a car around for 4 hours without like ever getting out of the fucking thing, and I wanted to kind of like check my phone, watch a little TV, kind of like unwind, and instead this bitch was sitting there just staring at me. And he had tried asking me to do it, and I was just like, "Look, man, I'm like, I would. I mean, like most other times, I would, no problem. But I'm like, I need a fucking break right now." But then this fucking cat just staring at me, like staring a hole through me, like you can do it, like So it's like I end up fucking going out on the porch with the cat so that she can sit out there in the sun and shit. And he called me, and he's just like, "Oh, hey, my girl wants to meet Chubby, like the girl cat." And I was just kind of like, oh, I was expecting to hear from you 5 hours ago. And he goes, "Oh, I had to clean the car." And I'm like, "Oh, and you didn't think to let the person that you told you were coming to that you weren't coming anymore?" I'm like, "Perhaps you should treat this as a life lesson for the future. That when you make plans with someone and you're not going to show up, you let them fucking know." So,
you constantly teaching that boy life lessons, man.
Yeah. Now if I could just get him to fully shut the door when he comes in the house.
Oh my God, that's real. Like, sir, these animals, man, come on, bro. Plus, I don't want no air getting escaping. No,
I'm more concerned about the air. I don't give a shit if the cat gets outside. I really don't. Like the boy cat wants to go out there, and the girl cat, she ain't gonna go far off the porch anyway. Like she just needs to be supervised because one, she gets a little skittish, but two, it's mostly my buddy just has this irrational fear. I guess I shouldn't call it irrational because there is some possibility to it, but he is worried about her getting scooped up by a predator because she's she ain't got the movement like that, and she's a pretty big meal. Because coyotes and shit have been seen in the neighborhood before, so he's just worried about her being out there and not being able to get away or whatever. But like I have no fear of her like running out the side door by herself like I would like the boy cat going out or whatever. But it's more of like I'm more of the like close the fucking door, you're letting the cold air out kind of thing. That's how I feel too. Like when my buddy sits on the front porch and he leaves the front door open when he's sitting there, and I'm thinking like just close the fucking door. Like it's not locking behind you. And all you're doing is letting the cold air out through the front door. Now this fucking AC's running more and the bill's going up and shit.
Yes, 1,000% yes, man. It's like, come on, bro. You cost me money, and I don't fuck with that. Oh my goodness. Did your mom get to meet his girlfriend?
I mean, but I knew that was happening.
Oh no, I didn't know if it actually did go down. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah, they went there and like they took pictures and everything, and then he called me. He was at like the fucking Raising Cane's or some shit around the corner from my house, and like she wanted to meet the cat, so he brought her over. I imagine he probably wanted her to meet us or meet me or whatever. But you know that wasn't really discussed. But I imagine that was probably like a little bit of like a side, you know, thing for him. That like, oh, she wants to meet the cat, but I really want her to meet them or whatever. So yeah, I got to meet her, and it's weird because like there's such an age gap between me and him that like I'm old enough to be their fucking parents, even though I'm technically his brother.
Yeah.
So I have to remember to act right in a way, you know, like not to say that like I'm out here wilding, but like I'm a little more loose with him because he's not my son, he's my brother.
Yeah.
And so like I fuck around with him a little bit, try to toughen him up a little bit. But I have to remember too that like I am a fucking adult, and so I can't just be out here saying all kinds of shit all willy nilly. Like I have to set somewhat of an example and be kind of like understanding that like he's a developing person, and so some of the shit I say like maybe he's not quite like battle hardened enough yet to kind of let it roll off. Maybe some of it's like he feels a sting in some of the jokes or some shit. So I've been trying to be more mindful of the things I say.
Yeah.
But I still, you know, not going to turn off my personality 100%. So while they were here, I was, you know, poking fun at her and making jokes at his expense and asking awkward questions and also being kind of like harsh on him for not calling me like when he should have and shit like that. So the whole spectrum was touched. But, you know, they were here for a little while and then they left and I came in and ate dinner and I watched. I think I remember I watched TV. I think I don't think I got on Call of Duty. I think I was too tired for that shit. I watched a lot of TV over the last like couple weeks. It's going to be a struggle to remember everything that I watch for the entertainment section.
It's why I've taken to writing them down. But also this week I have not watched a whole bunch of stuff. But we'll get there. All right. Well, there you go. That you've been caught up on Dan's life. You've gotten you some story time with Lunchbox. It's lovely. Let's slide on over to some tea time with your boy. Pinky's out because it's classy. I forgot to well, I was like, trust me, I was trying to hold down the show by myself for the first time and hopefully last time. So I forgot to tell y'all about what I think was a pretty cool event. Vanessa and I attended the Pink Pony Club event, which was a dance party based around the music of Chappell Roan. If you are not fucking with Chappell Roan, again, I think I've said this before, but I'm going to repeat to you. It's necessary. She's so good. Also just gorgeous, just a looker, but also an amazing singer, and I really fuck with her shit. And we went to the place that you went to see where you saw Mark Henry DJing.
Yeah, I recognize the room from the picture I saw on Instagram.
Yeah. So that was so much fun, y'all. And well, I am not. I don't even leave the house much. I mean, I'm not like a full ass homebody, but I don't do things like that. And so to get out and literally go dancing with my lady was a very, very nice thing to go do. So much so that like I think we'll probably do it again if they do a similar style event. Actually, they had one recently. It was what was it? It was like a 2K based dance event or some shit like that there. But it was super fun. I liked the room. It was spacious enough that we kind of could. They had an area that they were basically like, oh, just for disabled people, and and Vanessa's technically disabled, so we kind of eventually just leaned it over there to the wall. There's this guy in there, right? And so I go in there, and I'm like, I'm going to be the old man, but I'm like, it is what it is. I am the old man. But then there's some older people there, but it really was a lot of the youths. But then there's this guy that you have to imagine a bald mullet situation, who was so hyped to be there and was dancing all over the place. And eventually, at some point, the DJ was like, get up there on the stage and dance with us, everybody. And so my man was up there on stage just shaking his thing the rest of the night, and it was so fucking hilarious. And like every now and again, Vanessa be like, hey man, I need a moment. So we go and sit, because it's like in that facility there's a place you can just kind of slide off to the side and go sit, and she would, and so forth. And then we saw somebody with a bottle of Diet Coke, and Vanessa was like, go find me that bottle of Diet Coke, because I'm like, where in here could they have gotten a bottle of Diet Coke? And so the shirt I'm wearing that night is my shirt that says it's a Good Mythical Morning or Mythical Industries or whatever shirt, and it says everybody knows I love lesbians. I have a t-shirt and I have a hoodie with that statement on it. And this girl that we saw was like, I love your shirt. And I go, hey, yeah, I saw you in there dancing. She goes, yeah, I was up there on the stage busting it down. I go, busting it down. And she's like, okay, I wasn't really busting it down. I'm like, but she was like, I love your shirt and I love your socks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's weird to be spoken to by I guess the opposite sex. And I'm telling Vanessa about it. She's like, oh, it's so nice. And I'm like, because my lady appreciates the fact though that I had my everybody knows I love lesbian shirts. Chappell Roan is a queer musician, and so you know what I'm saying, it kind of fits the bill. But I like that. I don't know. Well, those who know me in life, I'm a giant black man, and to some people, unfortunately, that is scary. But to some people, it's all vibes, and they're like, hey, look at that cool black guy who is just kicking it with us, singing, Pink Pony Club. So, and that's the thing. So I'm like, eventually I was just like, look, I'm gonna just go to this gas station right here and go grab her a Diet Coke, because I know that's what's up, and I just stick it in my pocket, because I'm giant, so my pockets is deep. And ain't nobody gonna pat me down and be like, hey, you have a Diet Coke you're bringing to this facility. And so I give Vanessa the Diet Coke, and I'm like, I walk past that lady again, because at this point she had come outside. And I go, hey, yo, they playing my song, because I heard the song playing from like when I was coming out of the gas station. She goes, what song is it? I go, it's Pony Club. And so I grab Vanessa, I go, we gotta go. They playing Pony Club. And so we get in there, we get to all sing Pink Pony Club, which is the shit. I'm gonna keep on dancing out in West Hollywood. Get down with it. And I don't know, man. Like I said, I actually, amongst a bunch of people, was hanging out and singing and dancing, and I really had a good time with that. And of course, for the next week after that, I was like, do I got COVID? Because of course I don't go into large crowds anymore. And so I was freaking out, thinking, that's it. COVID is definitely in this room, and I'm going to get it. But really, I really did try to, like, one, that the room is better ventilated than you would think it is. But two, I actually stayed pretty far away from the crowd. You know what I'm saying? It still was a deep crowd. But only a couple of times did I have to was I actually in the mix where I wasn't like at least, the old 6 feet away from people. So a good time to be had there, man. Your boy T went out dancing, and might do it again. Another thing I think is pretty nifty, because now it's legal everywhere. I've talked about weed on this show forever. I actually went and hit up a dispensary over here that only recently opened, and this is my first time going in there. And I went in there specifically as Vanessa said, hey, could you go get me this? And I was like, oh, sure. And because she said, I know they got it. But I'm a chatter, and you know what I'm saying? I'll talk to people, and I was explaining to the lady how what I want from any weed product is to not be paranoid, like a chill high, and to not want to eat my refrigerator, to death. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the munchies. And she's like, and I told her what I'd had a good experience with, and that is, of course, Concrete Smalls, which is a mixture of, I think, Biggie Smalls and Concrete Jungle, if I'm not mistaken. It's a nice strain. A little bit more of a head high than I appreciate. I'm more of a body high kind of guy, but it was way more of a head high. But I was not paranoid even a little bit. which is a very nice experience to have. And I did not want to go eat in my refrigerator. I was simply a little, thirsty, and I'm like, yes, I can deal with that. But that lady was such a sweetheart. She wrote me an entire list of strains she thought would fit the bill for me, and I'm going to read them to you right now. She said I should get down with lime sherbet, strawberry guava, animal face, which I got to tell you does not sound as chill as you would think it is, but whatever. Animal face, blueberry cookies, and or blueberry cheesecake, and I'm like, that's so sweet. And I thought, I don't know, y'all. I just thought it was nice that she like wrote me a list, even though I was buying something else from there, and just talking to her about my experience at So at this point now that I know that it's legal, I've gone inside of 3 dispensaries. Went to that one on the east side I told you about some weeks back in Cleveland Heights. I went to the one on the other end of the town I live in, and I did not like that one at all. They are not. That one is too small for one, and they are not ready to have a bunch of people coming in there because they used to just be medical. So of course that had a little more of an ebb and a flow. That motherfucker was packed. That's another place I was like worried I was gonna get COVID at, because it was jam packed and tight in there. And there's all these fucking boomers, and I know you're saying, "Hey man, you getting old too, T." I know, but I ain't a boomer. And I'm like, look at all these boomers in here buying them some weed. That's fantastic, but also far too many people with that motherfucker. And I was just like, get me the fuck out of there. So it was very tight and uncomfortable. So it's the one I went to just over here in Cleveland. I go in there and like so far all the weed dispensaries I've gone to have had an area where you first walk into, and then you go through another door and then another door into the actual showroom. And if they have space, well, this new place definitely is full of space. They had a pretty decent sized lobby to begin with, and that's where they take your ID and scan your ID and so forth and so on. And then I get taken back. And like their showroom was massive, but because they're still kind of new, they don't have a lot of stuff to be showing. But like I said, it was interesting. And like she's walking me out, and I'm like, huh. And I see a bag, and it has like a boom box on it, and I see another bag that has like a cookie on the bag, and I'm like, I go, not that I want it, but let me ask you about these. I go, that's clearly AI generated art. And not good AI generated art at that, you know what I'm saying? What's going on here? She goes, you're 100% correct. That is AI generated art. This guy actually just recently hired a designer so they can actually do proper art. We don't even have this in stock yet. This is just representative of what is coming, you know what I'm saying, eventually to this dispensary. And I was like, hey, that's cool. Thanks for letting me know that. And so forth. But it was a nice experience. And when I first walked in, the lady was like, tell you right now, this is going to be the dispensary you want to come to. And I laughed it off like, you're so silly. But honestly, she's right. I was like, if I needed a dispensary, if I were the type of guy that was regularly buying stuff, I am not. That is probably where I would go, because it was so nice. It was so well ventilated. It was a nice size facility. Everybody in there was sweet as a peach. And I went in there, and they had a guy from Lighthouse Sciences, which I believe is out in East Lake. Basically, you ever been in, you know what it is. You go inside a Sam's Club or something, there's somebody there trying to tell you about their products and maybe give you a sample. In this case, no samples, because you can't go giving out samples of weed. But he had pins and stickers and the like. And I'm like, hey, man, I heard you talking earlier, because I was like just sitting there waiting to get taken back. And I heard you talking about how you're going to be hiring soon. Well, we have a friend of ours who just recently graduated weed college. And I was like, hey, man, you if you're doing some hiring, I got a friend of mine. She just graduated from weed college. He goes, oh, well, maybe I know her. I'm actually a teacher at that weed college. I was like, that's crazy. And so I was like, he goes, here, give her my card. Tell her to send me her resume. I will, I'll put her on and so forth and so on. And like, so I hit my friend up, told her, and she was like, oh yeah, I do know that guy. She goes, he wasn't a teacher of mine, but I definitely know him from name and so forth and so on. But just because I went into that weed store one day, I ended up finding a lead, at least, for a job in the industry from my friend who has been looking, who hit me up yesterday, to tell me that she is about to be a quality control supervisor for 12 people at a place coming soon of a different name, a different brand I won't go putting out there. And I was just like, that's so dope. So she didn't get to fuck around with these guys, but she did get hired somewhere else, and she's gonna be running the whole department because that's what she went to school for. She went to school for to manage basically weed situation. I don't know, stores and farms and all this stuff exists and so forth and so on, and processing facilities and so forth, because now it's an industry in our state. And I absolutely love that. So proud of my lady for my friend for getting that locked down, and just how I just find it funny that it worked out that way. Vanessa had sent me there to find something for her, and I ended up almost finding a job for my own girl in there. So also I got this sweet ass pen. So it's a nice pen. I could always appreciate a nice pen. That's all I'm saying. So that's what have been some stuff that's been going on recently with me. You're pretty much caught up on everything. I had to go on a run tonight out of nowhere. Xander, you don't know this box, but well, you do, I think, because I thought I told you that Xander went and bought another car. But he comes home today and goes, car's broken. I go, oh God, what happened this time? He goes, I don't know. I think it's this. And then after a while, he comes back and goes, oh, it's actually this. And I need this part. But I'm going to a concert tonight at that same place. And he goes, do you think you or Vanessa could go get this part? I go, what is it? And he goes, it's this. I go, where is it at? He goes, it's at the AutoZone over there by Best Buy. And I'm like, is it an AutoZone by Best Buy? Turns out it's an AutoZone by Best Buy. Did not know that AutoZone was there. Because the AutoZone to me was always down there by Pearlbrook. You know what I'm saying? Across from now what is the Sheets. I remember an AutoZone being down there, but no, there's an AutoZone right next to Best Buy, like Best Buy, AutoZone. So I slid over that way.
It's like Best Buy, AutoZone, like Ashley Furniture or something like that.
It's what I saw, and who knows? You could be right. It was Best Buy, AutoZone, Dollar Tree, and I don't know. Well, it could be some furniture down there, but I slid over there. This girl, I'm not joking when I tell you this, she looked for that damn part for, it seemed like almost 20 minutes, half hour. Could not find the part. So I tell Xander, they don't got it. And he sends me back a sad face emoji. And I'm like, I asked her if anybody else, any other AutoZones had it. She goes, no. And I go, damn, that sucks. So I sit in the car and I'm like, why did that boy go to O'Reilly's? I used to go to O'Reilly's for my parts all the time. So I look through and I find an O'Reilly's. No, I find that O'Reilly says they have the part, but I call the one that's over nearer to me. And they go, no, we don't got it in stock, but the one in North Olmsted did. And I'm like, I'm right there by 480. You know where the Best Buy is. So it's like 13 minutes away. So I hop on, I drive over to North Olmsted, go in there. That girl looks for the part for a while, but she finds it and brings it out for me. And I go, hey, do me a favor, make sure it'll fit in his car. And she's like, oh, yep, you're good to go. And I'm like, hell yeah. So then I send him a picture of it while he's at the concert he's at. And then he sends back a heart emoji because, of course, I found my kid his car part and paid for it on my own dime. But that's my kid. I love him. So that has been T's adventures in whatever today. Just nonsense and so forth. But it's a good time to be had. I had to get Lee's homecoming is coming up here shortly, so I had to get that taken care of. I also got to pay for that damn yearbook. It's about to be an expensive year for you, man. I can tell you that shit. And that sucks. I would like to find a little side hustle, but I don't even know what that means nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Besides like driving around, I'm not trying to put miles in my car, just driving around doing like Uber or whatever. Not Uber. I would never. But not none of those gigs. I just want to old school. I don't know. I don't even know. Like I said, I don't even know what I want to do because I'm too old to be trying to be somebody's security guard. I ain't trying to fight nobody. It's like, nigga, you stole it. You did your job. You got it because I didn't give a fuck. So not that. So I don't know, man. But the universe will guide me, and I'll figure it out. But for right now, that's about what it is for you, man. So there. Now you're caught up on my shit. Yeah, nothing else that I care or can share with y'all right now. So we leave that be. But you know what it is, man. Every week, we head to the mean streets of Reddit and to the subreddit, Am I the Asshole, where I pull a selection and I read them to you, and we decide together. And last week, it was just the listener could decide who was the asshole. let's do it. Let's refresh. I hate refreshing and then they disappear. So I'm gonna, as always, I'm gonna copy this motherfucker first. Control C. And then I'm gonna refresh. We'll hope it's still here. It is still here. So let's start with this one is, am I the asshole for refusing to speak to my sister after she ate my birthday cake before I saw it? Am I the asshole for returning my homemade wife's birthday gift? I don't like how that's worded at all. Am I the asshole for returning my homemade wife's birthday gift? I'm going to read it as written, y'all. And when you see it, it is as this is written. Am I the asshole for returning my homemade wife's birthday gift me and telling her I don't want it? I then went out and bought what I actually wanted. Okay? That's the title of that one. And then this one is, am I the asshole for telling my husband his daughter is embarrassing me? Box of those three, which one would you like to hear first?
The incoherent one.
That shit was a read, wasn't it? Okay. Am I the asshole for returning my homemade wife's birthday gift? It sounds like his wife is homemade. Like he invented a robot of his wife. Birthday gift me. And that's how this word is written. Birthday gift me. I know it should be to me. And telling her I don't want it. Period. I then went out and bought what I actually wanted. This is Quick Dig 3584 is the user. I need an outside opinion on this. This has been an ongoing issue that I've talked about to her multiple times about. Did you read how that? Did you hear how I just said that? Wow, that's crazy. This man is a writer, I got to tell you. My wife makes less money than me and is the type of people who prefers to make her own gifts for people. The issue is she will do this even if the person doesn't want this. I will use myself as an example. For the past few years, she has made every single gift I have been given. No matter what I ask for, I get a homemade gift. Doesn't matter if it's cheap or not. Last Christmas, I asked for a few things, and I got a homemade scarf. I always get her stuff she wants. I have talked to her about this multiple times. I want y'all to hear how I'm reading this and know that I'm reading it as written. I am not fucking up. I'm not stroking out. This is how it is written. My birthday was yesterday, and I asked her to give me a book. It was only $25, and I sent her the link. I opened the gift, and she made me homemade bookmarks. It wasn't even the type of bookmark I like. They were made from fabric, and I like wooden ones. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't realize wooden bookmarks were an option. Okay. I must have made a face because she asked me what's wrong. I told her I didn't want these. I made it so clear what I actually wanted, and I have talked to her so many times. I handed them back and went out to buy the book. We had a big fight when I got back. She claims I'm being an ungrateful jerk. Sir, that's what I present to the class. Is this man an asshole?
Yeah. I think, yes, you can be disappointed, but I feel like you just got to internalize it when it comes to gifts sometimes, because we've all got in life gifts that like we didn't want, but at least the person thought enough about you to do something for you.
I can agree with that on some level, but he's married to this person and has told her multiple times, quit making me this homemade stuff. Please get me what I have asked for.
You know, it is fair because I remember when we were kids, we used to get my stepmom, like the department stores would sell those gift baskets that came with like the body wash and the fragrances and shit. Yeah. And we get her those all the time. And I remember one Christmas she finally flipped out and it was like, why do you always get me this all the time? Are you trying to tell me I stink or something? And it's like, so I kind of understand, I guess this is where this guy's coming from, that this is his fragrance basket or hill to die on.
Let's see what a few of the comments say. How disparate is your wife's income compared to yours? Does she have access to your income? Is she living in poverty while you have cash to throw around? I don't think this person understands what a wife is, because that's not really how that should function. But the OP responds, I make about 30K more than her. We have shared accounts and I pay for most things, like the mortgage. She makes about 40K before taxes. She has enough money to buy a $25 book. No, she has enough. Let me read it to you like he wrote it. She has enough money to buy a $25 books. No period. She also could just use the shared account also. And then somebody responds, does she know this? How much savings does she have? Is she putting all her money into the joint account, or does she have money set aside for personal spending? You're not the asshole for not wanting handmade gifts, but you need to tell her very clearly no more handmade stuff. OP responds, yes, obviously she uses it all the time. She has money. We're not poor. She's not even poor, though she makes less since I pay more. Also, I have told her so many times. My man is like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this, grandma. That's too damn bad.
You keep on digging.
I don't think this guy's an asshole. I feel really bad for him that he keeps trying and not succeeding. But maybe someday, buddy.
Yeah, maybe the next wife will get it right.
This one's a little longer, so let's see if we can lay this one out. Am I the asshole for telling my husband his daughter is embarrassing me? This is from Hot Pomelo 552. Throwaway due to personal info shared. Also change names for privacy. Yesterday, I, 30 female, was chilling at home with my mother-in-law, talking and drinking coffee. When my husband, 37 male, arrived, he asked me if I would take his daughter, 12 female, shopping for a dress. A little bit of context. When he was younger, my husband had a relationship with a woman. Let's call her Sarah, and they had Mary, their daughter. He was having his rebel phase, going against his parents with this relationship, but it did not last. He realized they are way too different as individuals and broke up when Mary was 3. I met my husband 6 years ago, and we got married 4 years ago. Our relationship is amazing, and I get along extremely well with my in-laws. I was immediately accepted into the family, and my mother-in-law treats and introduces me to people as her daughter. As you can imagine, this has caused a lot of drama with Sarah because she never received the same treatment from the family. But truthfully speaking, she is not someone you wish to have in your social circle. The fuck is that to say about somebody? I don't like this already. Mary and I get along good. Everyone is on the same page that she has a mother and that I am not trying to replace her. I am just her father's wife. However, she spends most of her time with her mom, and Sarah is teaching her extremely hippie BS, like she should not abide by the expectations society has on women. Okay, I don't think that's hippie BS, but whatever. She should not feel pressure to act, look, or behave as what society considers acceptable, and so on. You're not telling me anything that's got me on your side here yet. Mary, therefore, is allowed by her mom to not shower for days in a row, wear dirty clothes, not brush her teeth or hair. This has become her way of living because she refuses to shower or dress properly all the time. It pains me to say, but she could pass as a homeless child if you see her on the street due to her appearance. Back to yesterday. 1 month from now, my entire family will attend a gala where my husband will receive an award. It's an important moment in his career, and he asked me if I will go with his daughter to buy a dress for the event. I told him honestly that I prefer not to. I explained that I feel really embarrassed being seen with Mary in public. She dresses horrible, and most of the time her clothes are dirty. She stinks and does not brush her hair. Mother-in-law agreed, get the fuck out of here, word, and mentioned to my husband that it would be best if Mary does not attend this event because she will make us look bad in front of all the people that will be present. I was on my mother-in-law's side. Husband was sad, but he also agreed with us and mentioned he will think about it. Am I the asshole? What the fuck? With what you just have there. Is this person an asshole?
No.
Wow.
I've been the stinky kid.
Okay.
You don't want to be the stinky kid. Like, they're what? They're 12.
They are
Like,
12.
They're 12. Like, they're too young to be taking political stances and shit. Like,
But mind you, this is their mother influencing them to think they need to do this. So it's not like they have chosen this path. They've been taught this time, like, you don't worry about being a stinky kid. You can be stinky. So it's not really their fault. They're being guided wrong.
that's why I think this person's not an asshole for wanting the kid to not be stinky and dirty. And I don't know. I get like wanting to support the kids and all that stuff, but I mean, I'd be embarrassed if I was in their shoes. Like, I've been there.
It would make you look bad because people are not going to think that you're not the kid's mom, because there you are with the kid taking them places. They're going to be like, why?
Yeah, it makes it seem like you're taking poor care of this child.
Yeah, and I can hear that. I can get it. It sucks that it's rolling that way. I don't know, but let's see. Let's read a little more here. Update. I wrote yesterday the initial post and it blew out of proportion. The number of comments was really overwhelming, but I sincerely thank you for your help and all the useful comments and DMs you sent me. I will clarify some on the most common asked questions. One, first of all, I apologize if I offended people mentioning hippie feminist part. I do not think all feminists have poor hygiene, and I admit it was bad wording on my part. Being a feminist is what Mary's mother uses to describe herself and justify her parenting style. No, Mary is not mixed race. She and her mother are not of a different ethnicity. Some people found that showering for 2 to 3 days is not a problem. Mary spends 2 weekends with my husband in our house, and so during his time, he picks her up on Friday, drops her off on Sunday. I noticed that during her time with us, those 2 to 3 days, she refuses to shower, but I have no idea what she's doing when she lives with her mother. For those saying it's not that bad and I'm overreacting, I'm actually not. 2 to 3 days going without a shower may not be a problem when you're an adult that spends the day working in an office and moving around in a car with AC, but a 12-year-old who has lots of activities, hormonal changes, and does not wear deodorant, trust me, it is bad. As a 12-year-old, Mary is not to blame for her lack of hygiene. I agree. Her parents are to blame, and I understand that my husband needs to step up and decide what he wants to do. 5. This is a whole list here. Many people ask if I don't take Mary with me for a girls' day, spa day, mani-pedi. Her mother does not agree with it. She expressed multiple times that, in her opinion, the women in our family promote unhealthy women's standards, and she forbid her daughter ever engaging in such activities. I want to come back to that one. That's number 5. Remind me to come back to 5 if I don't. Number 6, what was my stance and input in helping Mary? As most of you probably realize, I don't have many options at hand. I have brought her a lot of natural, organic, vegan, and cruelty-free products. I have read and explained each label to her, but she does not want to use them. 7, I don't think Mary is being abused or neglected by her mother in a traditional way that CPS could be involved. She is not neglected. She is given too much power to decide as a 12-year-old over her hygiene. Number 8, and this is the last one. Why I am so concerned for my image. Why I am so concerned for my image and reputation. Because this is how I was raised, and I refuse to have my reputation damaged in our social circle due to a kid that is not even mine and due to the lack of involvement from her parents. My mother-in-law is not influencing me at all. We just share the same opinions, values, and concerns. That being said,
I didn't like how that sentence was written.
Same. We'll come back to that. That being said, today I will sit my husband down and have a conversation with him. I will clearly inform him that my stance over this entire situation is and what I expect to happen. The rest is up to him to decide. I'm going to bounce back to, what was that? Number 5, standards. And as she forbids her daughter from engaging in such activities. No. When my kid is with me, where I am in this situation, it is my rules, not your rules. Now, we probably can set up some our rules, but when they're with me is how I gets down. And if I tell my kid, yo, you want to get your nails did? And they say, hell yeah, then they can get their nails did. They can get the pedicure. They can get all that good shit because they are at my house and it is my rules, not yours. I don't fuck with that at all. But this last sentence, because this is how I was raised, and I refuse to have my reputation damaged in our social circle due to a kid that is not even mine. This where you fucked up, whatever your name is. You didn't give your name. You gave everybody else a name, but not you. And that is why, of course, Reddit said this person is an asshole. But let's go read some comments. You're the asshole. You're focused on appearance / how others will see you instead of a situation at hand. This child is being neglected in terms of personal hygiene. Bad teeth care will likely cause horrible problems down the line, e.g. cavities, losing teeth, etc. She's a little girl. She doesn't know better. She's just following the guidance of her mom. When you're a kid, you don't know better. You see embarrassment. I see neglect. Why is your husband not doing anything when she is in his care? Why is your husband not petitioning the court to get more time with her? Is it because you're too weird about appearance? Maybe look in the mirror and see what you're missing. Respectfully, this girl deserves better care. I hope y'all do something. The OP responded. Do you think we have not tried to explain to her that what she is doing is wrong? Her mother has indoctrinated her, and she thinks that my mother-in-law and I are shallow, and it's because you fucking are. But forgive me. And that she has to be a feminist like her mom. You are misusing the word feminist too. Who does not take care of here? It's my kid internet. It's my oldest boy who had to go buy a car part for it. It's in his hand right now. Hold on, I've lost my shit. Okay. Indoctrinator, a feminist like her mom who does not take care of herself either. Does not take care of herself. No, she takes care of herself how she chooses to. I tried many things to get her to have better hygiene. I bought her very expensive natural products like shampoo, shower gel, etc. because she claimed the regular ones had chemicals that are harmful for her skin and environment. She never used them. I explained to her that the health aspect, she does not accept that and says I'm exaggerating. I tried, but nothing works. Look, probably one, you aren't the one to be trying. Because you are not that child's parent, and it's real clear that she ain't gonna fuck with you at all. It's also clear that that dude's mom sucks a little bit too for not having treated her grandkid's mom with some respect. Just respect. I'm not saying you got to be cool, but it's like you never called her daughter, you never was nice to her. That's some hoe shit. Now, I don't know, but that father need to get up off his dude and do something.
I was literally just about to say, what the fuck is he doing and all this? Just letting this shit happen.
Yeah, just letting it happen. Letting his child be stanky, letting his wife roll over. No. That man need to get his shit together. And so, yes, in my opinion, you are an asshole because you are shallow as fuck and so forth. And like I said, that whole thing, I was raised this way and blah, blah, blah. That's where you fucked up at. I was out, like I said, me and Boxing come to cool terms. It's like, I understand why you're embarrassed. And you said that bullshit. Now I have to call you an asshole. Because that was asshole behavior. And not butt behavior, asshole behavior. Because again, this is a 12-year-old child. He's a little kid. And yeah, you suck. And so they daddy suck too. They mama just weird and whatever. But again, you got to set some rules at your house that say, look, you're going to be in my house, you definitely going to get washed up. I don't give a fuck. And it's got to be firm. And you got to lay that shit down because, like I said, like Box said, don't be the stinky kid. It'll haunt you.
Mm-hmm. You never forget being the stinky kid.
People will talk about you at your damn high school reunion. Be like, hey, yo, it was a stinky kid. Stank. You don't want all that. You don't want that. So as to avoid that, you need to get on that shit. But yeah, she ain't the one to be doing it. I'll tell you that. That tone and that attitude. Ugh. Talking about I ain't gonna take you. You ain't gonna go to your father's event where he's being honored. These people got some dough, is what it is, and that they all snooty and snobby, and I don't like it, man. No, thank you. Last one. Am I the asshole for refusing to speak to my sister if she ate my birthday cake before I even read this? No. Y'all know how I get down with cake. If you are a long time listener, if today is your first time listening to Stage Country Milk Podcast, trust me, I am a connoisseur of cake. I'm probably going to bake a cake this weekend. Kind of excited about it. I gets down with cake. And if somebody ate my cake, my birthday cake, before I saw it, it would probably be, I'm not going to lie to you, it would probably be violence. Just be real with you. It would probably lead to some actual fucking bad shit. Or me shoving cake down somebody's gullet, choking their ass out with a slice. But let's read this story and see if I'm wrong. Like, what if this person had like a diabetic situation and had to eat some cake to live? And I'm wrong here. But let's see what's popping. This is Broccoli OK 6111 is the writer of this. I'm at the ass for refusing to speak to my sister after she ate my birthday cake before I saw it. So it was my 19 female birthday about a week ago. We just talked about Irish murder. And I was really looking forward to it. Mostly because my mental health has been extremely bad these past few months, and I haven't had anything to make me feel even a little hopeful/happy for somewhat of a long time now. Well, the night before my birthday rolls around, and my mother and sister, 15, are urgently telling me to pick a spot to eat for the big day, mostly my sister. But I am really indecisive, so it's taking a while. I woke up early, and I decided on a cute cafe I could bring my mother and sister to, and also a photo booth we would take pictures at afterwards. My dad got me a cake that he put away until the time came at the night to blow out the candles. I was getting ready and didn't hear my sister come from school. So when I go to her eventually to tell her the plans for that day, she immediately starts to snap at me. She basically said that I need to pick a different place and that if I didn't, she wouldn't go. I tried not to let it get to me, but all my friends were in different states, and her plus our parents were the only people who were around. I tried not to let her see me cry, so to cheer myself up, I decided to look at my cake for the first time, and to my surprise, someone had taken a slice out of it. The only person who could have done it was her. So I asked. She said, "Yeah." I honestly was in a state of shock. ATP. What is ATP, boss? You know what that means? At this point, maybe?
Seems that'd be my best guess.
We'll go with that as logically. I was in shock at this point and couldn't wrap my head around it. I asked her why, and she said that she thought I wouldn't care about it that much, and she was starving after a long day of school. I yelled at her, and she only gave me a half-assed sorry after my dad forced her to. I cried the rest of the day and didn't end up going to the places I wanted to. Whew. So I put my candles in a cupcake and just lit them myself in my room. She continues to gaslight me and makes it seem like I'm overreacting about the situation. Is this just normal teenage bratty behavior? I won't speak to her until she gives me a proper apology. We have had a really close relationship, and I don't understand why she'd do this. My mind is boggled. I mean, I'm right? She's not an asshole, right?
Yeah, you're right on both accounts. Google agrees. ATP means at this point.
Oh, sweet. But like, so I guess you can't legally beat up a 15-year-old if you're 19. I don't know. That's your sibling. It'd probably just be a domestic charge. I mean, that's mostly misdemeanors. Yeah, I think I would just fuck her ass up right then and there.
It would definitely be domestic violence. Like It would be an assault charge because at that point you're an adult, so you're supposed to know better. But like,
I'll take that shit to the jury. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We're gonna take this to the long way. We're gonna go. I want 12 men in the box, and I want to tell them to their face that I've been going through it. And my father bought me a birthday cake to have later to blow the candles out. And this little so-and-so came through and took a slice out of my birthday cake that I hadn't even seen yet. No one would convict. No sane person would convict.
Man, this birthday cake shit too leads to some disastrous situations because a cutting of a birthday cake was how I had stumbled across that digital camera where I saw my mom engaging in adult activities with my stepdad.
What? This is unfamiliar to me. Have you told me this story?
I have. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on the show. There was a time where I was at my mom's house for a birthday party and they were going to cut the cake. But they didn't want to cut the cake until my mom took pictures of it with the camera. I wanted a piece of cake, but I had to go to the bathroom. The number 2 was calling. So I went to the bathroom. I was in the bathroom for a while. And when I came out, I didn't know if they had already cut the cake, taken pictures. Or I mean, I didn't know if they'd taken pictures, saying happy birthday, all that jazz. So I went over to the camera to open it up to see if there was
taking
pictures. And when I powered it on and went into the roll, the first thing that popped up was a video that was my mother with my stepdad. And I immediately shut that shit off as quick as I could. But obviously I saw like 2 seconds of it before I realized what the fuck I was looking at. And so that cake had not had pictures taken yet. And I did not, I was scarred off that shit.
Sir, that is the literal definition of trauma. I am fucked up off of that. And if you told that story, I'm probably erasing from my memory for a reason. That is wild.
Yeah, it's like back in the day when on shows or movies and shit, when like someone would walk in on their parents having sex in the kitchen or something like that. It's kind of like that. Yeah, because I was in the kitchen when I opened up that digital camera, so it was kind of like the same thing.
Oh, did you eat cake?
Of course, I ate the cake. You think I want to go through all that and not eat the cake? God damn, what's wrong with you?
Oh shit! Let's delve into the comments a little bit. Not the asshole. She's showing extreme self-centered behavior. Is she also the golden child? And OP responds to a degree. Yes, she is. Scroll down a little bit more. Not the asshole. Unless there wasn't a single crumb of food in that house, there was no reason for her to choose to eat your birthday cake as her after-school snack. Nor should she be demanding which place you should go. Your sister sounds like a typical self-centered teenager who doesn't care about anyone else but herself. Everyone deserves to feel special on their birthday. Sorry yours didn't go as planned, OP. Somebody responds to that and says, I mostly agree with you, other than that, this sister sounds like a typical self-centered teenager. Yes, teenagers tend to be self-centered, but even your typical teenager is self-aware enough to not eat a birthday cake before the event or demand that a birthday girl change her party plans. That's next level type of shit behavior. No, sorry, next level type of behavior. Type shit is me being used to saying type shit. Everyone agrees with us, and I agree with Reddit here. No, you're not the asshole. You're a sweetheart for having not, like I said, I will change motherfucking lives if y'all do. So if this happened to me, like I said, take that shit to trial. I'm going straight to the jury. Telling you, no man will convict. No man who I would have my lawyer be like, I need you to make sure you find the cake connoisseurs, the people who understand patisserie and can know what it is to love and really enjoy a fine baked good. Also, bro, this is bakery over in River on like this little side street. I can't think of it, man. And we happened to drive past there on my birthday. And for that's like, you want to go in there and see what they got? And they had these lovely cupcakes, really good. I mean, and oddly enough, because Grandma Campbell's ain't around no more, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no cupcakes to be had in this town. And so they were a fine cupcake, truly tasty. But what's the banger? Massive cookie, right? This beautiful little salted chocolate chip kind of vibe. They cost $6.25, so it's a little pricey, but worth every fucking dime. I'm gonna get you one at some point. I realize I'm gonna say you try to eat healthy, but I mean you can take your time and pinch that for some days. It's a big ass cookie, and well worth it. It's so tasty. I wish I could think. Ooh, you know I paid for that shit, so I probably could just look at my bank account right quick and tell you exactly who this. Actually, if I double tap my phone and click there. I want to look at what. Well, here we will just hit my bank account then. Scroll. See all transactions. It is Kelsey Elizabeth. I think it's Kelsey Elizabeth cookies or cupcakes. I don't know the rest of the name. But they have one in I think in Avon, and they got that one in River, and very very good shit, y'all. So. That's me. That's me sharing that with Dan more than anybody else. But if you, the listener, are local and want to get down some shit, check out Kelsey Elizabeth, whatever, because they cook that cookie.
I think I've heard of that place. Did they all like? I think that place does stuff with like peppers and stuff too.
Oh, they do. I didn't see that. It was all baked goods, but
Well, no, like the peppers were in the baked goods. Like I don't know if it was cupcakes or cookies or something,
yeah,
but I think they did something with peppers back in the day.
nice. There you go. Well, that was your Emma the Asshole for the week. Hope you enjoyed them. And, please feel free to holler at us and tell us if we're wrong or if you are right. Or, hey, or if we come across an Emma the Asshole that you want us to dispute on this show, please send it to us. I'm down for that as well. In the realm of entertainment, I have not watched anything. I have not read anything. I have played Astrobot on the PlayStation 5. I am 2 trophies away from platinum it. I have to finish this last impossible level. And once I do that, it will pop that trophy, and then it'll pop the trophy for having got all the trophies, and then I will have platinum Astrobot. I have already beat the game. I'm just doing this last challenge level to get through it, and it is so challenging, as I guess it should be. But that game is great. It is fantastic. If you have a PlayStation 5, you certainly would be doing yourself a service to get that game. I am listening to the song I rapped to you earlier, Black Air Force Ones. It's not really called that. Kendrick did not name it at all. Some people are calling it Watch the Party Die. But I call it Black Air Force Ones because, as I told you last week, that's the image he has on his Instagram for that song. Just a pair of fucked up ass Black Air Force Ones. And I like that as a title more than anything. And I'm still listening or back to listening to Euphoria because there's some stuff going on in Euphoria that I think makes that song way special. I get it. I love Not Like Us. Not Like Us will be my top song at the end of the year on Spotify. But Euphoria, superpowers get neutralized. I can only watch in silence. That song is real, real good, man. And word to Kendrick for getting us getting the Super Bowl. He gets to be the performer of the Super Bowl. First time a solo rap act got that bill. Got that billing, and people are like, "It should have been Lil Wayne," and I'm like, "Y'all clearly don't know how bad Lil Wayne sucks right now." So that man is not right. Drugs have done him a disservice, and I know whatever people are like. Oh, also the hometown acts rarely, if ever, perform a Super Bowl. The fact they got Dre to perform in L.A. was just dumb luck. So stop it. Move on with yourself. Box, catch me up, man. What have you been watching and reading and grooving to and so forth?
No, it's gonna be hard for me to try and remember everything. But
hey, you don't gotta remember it all. Just remember something.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I watched American Fiction. I watched
what's that?
The movie with the black dude from Westworld, where he.
Oh yeah, I heard about that with Sterling K. Brown as his brother, right?
Yeah, and then Issa Rae is in it, and yeah.
How is it? What's it about?
So he's an author, and also I think a college professor.
Okay.
And he's upset that his work isn't looked at as like quote unquote black enough for society because he speaks properly, or no, I shouldn't say properly. The way he speaks is more akin to what people would consider a white person to speak about, like rather than a quote unquote black person because of stereotypes.
Yeah.
And so his work, he feels, isn't given the proper cataloging, the proper way to look at the work itself. And he sees Issa Rae getting famous off of a book that she wrote that in his eyes is demeaning towards the black experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so one night he pens this like over the top dramatization of what he thinks the people want black people to sound like or be like, or what their lives are like. And he submits it to his editor or agent. I'm not sure how. I think it's editor in the movie. I don't know the role necessarily. Agent, whatever. However, authors do their thing. Yeah. And the guy sends it off, and a fucking publisher wants to buy it for like a couple $100,000. So like he goes through. It's like the movie's him like going through with it under like a pen name, so like they don't know that it's him as the author.
Yeah.
And he keeps trying to make it even more ridiculous, and they just keep wanting more and more, and they want to turn it into a movie and shit. And like while that's going on, they're dealing with like his mother going through like a mental degradation.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the disease is, and like what's her name? Ross, Diana Ross's daughter,
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Tracy Ellis Ross. She's in the movie for like a hot minute in the beginning, but spoiler, she passes away like right at the beginning of the movie.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so the family's together for like her funeral, and then like there's other stuff. Like it's one of those like artistic style type movies that like has a good story to it. Mm-hmm. And you like, and the cast is really good. There's like, I guess like it won like some Oscars or something.
There, I think both Sterling K. Brown and what can I think of his name? The main actor were nominated for Academy Awards this year for that movie, so that's kind of dope.
Yeah, so I watched
Jeffrey Wright is his name.
Yeah, so yeah, I watched that. That was pretty good. I watched the Lotto or You Won or whatever, the Amazon movie with John Cena and Aquafina.
Did she use her black scent, or is she back to not using that no more? Because it would have been funny if she used her black scent with John Cena, because of course John Cena used to be, that was his kind of his thing. That's how funny they both used to pretend they were black. That's wild.
She sounded more normal in this movie. Yeah, she didn't have a whole twang, but yeah, she sounded more normal.
Very good.
So it was one of those like comedic Amazon John Cena type movies. It was pretty funny. I watched a show on Amazon that did not get renewed for a second season, and I knew that going into it.
Yeah.
But it was based off of, I guess, a book series, like a teenage mystery style book series. The show is called Shelter.
Okay.
So I watched all 8 episodes of that. I watched the first half of the last season, because that's all that's out right now, of Cobra Kai.
Okay.
I watched the movie The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, the stunt movie, right?
Yeah, where it's like a love story / like mystery and stuff. So that movie was pretty good. I watched like the extended version on Peacock, so it was like 2.5 hours, but it was pretty good. I watched The Beekeeper with Jason Statham.
It's like another like crank style movie. Is he an action some situation, or what is the beat?
Yeah, he's like a former U.S. agent that was in this like secret program that like basically he's like an assassin.
English ass Jason Statham was a former U.S. agent. What kind of bullshit is that?
Hey. So yeah, but the premise of the movie is he's retired out of the program and he's living on this woman's property. He's an older retired black woman, and he's like renting out like her barn or whatever, and that's just where he's staying. And he's like, yeah, he has actual beehives and stuff, and he's enjoying her company and stuff. And she gets one of those like pop-ups on her computer where it's like, you're you're going to lose all your data on your computer if you don't call this number and let us do this, blah, blah, blah. And so she calls in, and it's like one of those scam centers, and she ends up getting them access to her computer, and then they go in and they steal all the money out of all of her retirement accounts. And she was like a person who was on the books for a charity, so they stole like all $2 million out of the charity. Like they wiped her clean. And so when she realizes what happened, she kills herself.
Oh no!
Yeah. So then like Jason Statham goes on a rampage trying to like deal with the people responsible. Yeah, avenge her. Yeah. but like her daughter's an FBI agent. So like the daughter's stuck between pursuing Jason Statham and being kind of thankful that he's taking down bad people that like caused their mother's death.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the greatest movie ever, but for what it was pretty solid. It's on Amazon.
Okay, so Amazon. Okay. All right. Yeah.
So I watched that. I watched The Watchers on HBO Max. It was like a M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's like it was okay. It didn't have the usual M. Night Shyamalan letdown, but like it also wasn't like a heavy twist movie. It was more just kind of like a story with like, you know, some horror type elements to it. So like not the worst movie in the world. Like it was all right. I also watched Kong and Godzilla, like the team up movie.
Not great, not awful.
Yeah, it was fine. Like, I think all those movies are fine. Like, I have a hard time understanding like Titan style beasts that don't actually speak, that all of us like have this mystical understanding of knowing the situation without actual communication, teaming up to battle other beings. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The movie, like, you know, was cool looking, and it was on HBO, which I already paid for, so I watched it.
Yeah.
And let's see. I think I watched Dion Cole's new special that just dropped like yesterday.
I saw one of his jokes on TikTok today, and it was about how young women can catch an old man slipping, just be like, just say thanks, mister. And I was like, that's a pretty funny joke. So,
yeah, I'll probably end up rewatching it because like I was a little distracted at times while I was watching it, but like I really enjoyed Dion Cole's other specials.
Yeah,
and from the parts that I do remember from this one, like he's I like his style, I like his material, so I'd recommend it to people out there. Fair. Trying to think if there's anything else that I watched, because I'm definitely in like my spooky season mentality now, so I'm like looking for like horror style movies or, you know, mystery style movies, that kind of thing.
Did you watch on Netflix probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, Hubie Halloween?
I did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel like that might be a tradition that I watch that again this year at some point. That's a fun movie. Just an Adam Sandler movie. In fact, I won a shirt from Netflix for that movie. The T-shirt is Vanessa has it on Teddy Ruxpin upstairs, but they gave away shirts that have the various, because I don't know, for some reason in that show, maybe somebody was making shirts in that movie, if I can wrong. And I got one of those stupid ass shirts. I had to take a picture of it, so I got that upstairs. Yeah, man. Like I said, I've just been on this game. I kind of, not to say I don't watch it, because Vanessa watched it, and of course I'm just kind of present with her in life, and so she's been watching Big Brother, this latest season of Big Brother, which is nearing its conclusion, and that show regularly just ticks me off because I'm like, y'all people are idiots. And that when that old white woman wins this game, it's because all y'all kept doubting her and kept like, I'm gonna save Angela, and I'm like, y'all gonna play yourself, and she gonna walk away with all this money, and that's gonna be your fault because y'all should have been kicked her ass out of this house. It's amazing how much it pisses me off. But yeah, that's the only thing close to that something I watch. You know, I'm always on YouTube, so I'm constantly watching, of course, Ted Lasso recaps about this Kendrick song that again I just talked about. And
wait, did you just say you're constantly watching Ted Lasso recaps?
Yes, all the time. People recap Ted Lasso or watching Ted Lasso for the first time. I love watching people watch Ted Lasso for the first time. It's fantastic. It's weird, I know. It's dumb, I know. But it's also like...
Are you excited or upset by the news that it's coming back?
I'm super excited. Because and of course, that's not even guaranteed. What it is they just... Everybody's contracts is basically like, look, it could go down at any moment, okay? So keep your shit open. Basically what they did was they just gave them more bread to be like, keep your schedules open because it could happen. Apparently, they can't get Phil Dunster back, Jamie Tart, because he is already doing some other shit. And I didn't know this until after the fact, but he's a stage actor. he's a trained stage actor, which most actors in England are. They do stage shit, so he does a lot of that for his acting. So he's less of a movie guy. So yeah, you give me some more Ted Lasso, I'll gladly accept it, sir. I watched an episode, as in one, and I thought it was good, and I'll probably go forth and watch it. But one episode of Severance. I started with the very first episode, so I've just seen the pilot, and it's an interesting premise, and I might enjoy it, but I've not watched any more of it since then, and I haven't been like, oh, I should go watch some more Severance. So I don't know. We'll see how I feel about that. I read last week that the next season of The Last of Us will be coming in the first half of next year, which makes you think probably March, April situation. So I'm excited for that. I downloaded all the Thursday Next books, which is books by the author Jasper Ford, one of my favorite authors. And I've read all of them before, but I've never listened to them before. I actually physically read all those books, like paper, turning pages. So I'm excited to listen to them and hear what it sounds like to have someone read them to me. So I'm excited to get it. I downloaded all of those on Libby the other day. So I have them on my phone. I just have not listened to them. Man, I'm trying to tell you, I'm like I said, I've been playing Astrobot, bro. Hard in the paint on that game. That game is so good. And sorry, y'all fucked with Astrobot. I do the long story. I did play a round, like a couple of rounds of Fortnite yesterday because I finally got the Dr. Doom skin, and I like that. So I ran some rounds in Dr. Doom gear and had fun doing that. So yeah, I think that's all I did in the realm of gaming. So sorry, people, or entertainment at all. That's just where I'm at. You said you played some Call of Duty, Monopoly Go, of course, Pokemon Go, of course. Same for me on those. Not for Call of Duty, but still, it's almost time for Black Ops. So I'm very excited for that. That's next month in October, and it comes on Game Pass, so I get to play me some. I play the single player portion of Call of Duty. I love the stories of Call of Duty. They're always interesting. They're basically like an action movie. They actually are usually about 4 to 6 hours long, so super short. So it actually is like an action movie. So go in, play that, get through the action movie phase of it, and then I'll mess around with the multiplayer just a little bit, and then I will have had my Call of Duty fill. So that's how that moves for me. And I think that's about it, people. I think we've ran out of show for you. I'm sorry. Anything else, Box, before I start putting the forks in this?
Yes. I need one more sticker on Monopoly Go. So I need you to pump all of your credits into our thing. Fuck everybody else, because I need this wild sticker to complete my album.
I will. Then you get that, sir. I got you. I think I need 5 stickers, all gold. I will not get them. It's very upsetting to me. 2 Sundays straight, 2 Sundays in a straight. When I get the what you call it, I have gotten 6 stickers. None of them have been new, and I'm like, fuck y'all. Y'all know what y'all doing. But then I'm very excited for this damn Marvel event. Then they got me back in that quick. It's shit.
Yeah, like I think I gave you 2. I know I gave you at least 2.
You did, and I meant to say thank you for that. And my apologies for having not done that. You put me on, and so that set is down to 1 gold sticker. Remote duck races, 1 gold sticker. Parallel parking, 1 gold sticker. Shopping spree, 1 gold sticker. Fencing, 2 gold stickers. All that, so that is a total of 6 stickers I need in 6 days, and I already know it's not going to happen, and it's very upsetting.
Yeah, in remote duck races, I need quacking. The golden, it's the golden sticker.
Same, in the middle, bottom middle. Yeah.
So, yeah, and then like Anthony was randomly sending like the sticker request thing like this week.
Yeah,
and I ended up giving him like 3 stickers.
Nice,
and so he got the hookup. He texted me that the water broke. And so that's why the baby's coming tonight, probably.
Yeah.
But he is still pumped like 40K worth of. I haven't done anything yet, and like right now, I only have 2 partners because I haven't accepted anybody else. Just you 2.
Yeah.
I sent a request to my one buddy, but he hasn't responded. And then like I got a couple people that sent me invites, but like one I think is my sister, and she just started playing. And then like another one is like somebody that I got from like trading on the trading app. So I'm like, I don't trust them to do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm holding out hope that like one of like, man, I was so disappointed during the race car thing because I felt like that random girl that was on there, like she's been my partner on a bunch of shit because I got her from the trading app, and she's been like solid. Like her and I always complete our shit during the partner events, and I felt like she didn't do shit on this last one, and that cost me that fucking wild sticker because I pumped like I had 9,000 dice going into that event, and I gave everything I had. And I did the most on the team, and I my buddy helped chipped in too, and we fell just short. And I felt like she just did a little bit more, we would have gotten it.
Have you seen this wheel? I'm just looking at it. There's a mega space on this wheel.
I saw it. I haven't spun anything yet, so I don't know what it does. I haven't really like done my like spinning today.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you could just this one time just pump all your shit into me, I would appreciate it.
For right now, no one else has accepted an invitation or sent me an invitation. It is you and me alone, baby. So I have nobody else to give it to. So you got this, man. Worry not. There you go, people. That's how you get down. And I'll go, hey, shout out to my man Kerry, because Kerry, when he is on my partnership, always puts in the work. I got to give it up to him. I try to keep up with him and be like saying that he just, no, don't worry, I got you. And he be dragging me, kicking and screaming most of the rest of the way. And I'm like, I be trying. I do, man, but he'll always end up like 25,000 more than me, no matter what I do. So.
Well, the thing is, like when you start teaming up with the same people, like you start to realize who puts in like the extra work on like certain partnerships. Like no offense, but I know that like when you and I partner up, I usually end up doing most of the shit.
Hey, I try. I put in my effort.
I know, but like,
in fact, with you, I make it a point to try to like box went me make sure I'm at least halfway or equal with you the whole time. It's rare that I let you get away from me. I'm like, box got 8,000. Let me at least get him 8,000 right now, so me and him are at least even. I play it a specific way. Just saying. Also, the new Voodoo is out for this year. It is definitely strawberry starburst. It's pink starburst.
Oh yeah, do you need those Oreos still, or did you get them?
Reach over here. Patrons, okay. That is already filmed for you. And in fact, all I have to do is upload it to YouTube. You can see me and Vanessa sit together and try out the new Coca-Cola Oreos.
Okay, I was asking because there was a pack here in the house that my buddy had grabbed for you in case you needed it, but now we will just consume those.
Have you tried?
Yeah, we already ate a pack.
What is your thoughts on that? If you would care to share that with the regular listeners,
I think that they smell more like Coca-Cola than they actually taste like Coca-Cola, but they definitely use the Pop Rocks feature to give you that carbonation effect.
I'd say we filmed something for the patrons, so I don't want to give it away too much, but I will tell you, you know what? Here, I'll give you this much. Probably one of the best Oreos I've had in some time because it's doing what it claims to do. Tastes more like cola candy than Coca-Cola, but it does have a cola situation. And it has the Pop Rocks, like Box was just saying. So you got the fizzy Cola situation. Imagine, if you will, more RC than Coke. So Cola, faux show.
Yeah, it definitely smells like a cola.
Yeah.
The actual cola, like he had the sugar free, like the mini cans.
They only make it sugar free. It's only the zero.
Oh, okay.
Same. And it wasn't bad. Just tastes like a vanilla Coke. I didn't even really get a lot of chocolate out of it.
Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, just tasty. So
probably one of the worst things I've ever put in my body chemically, but it was enjoyable.
You've lived on this planet long enough, bro. You know what it is. You know what it is. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. That's how, if you would be, just subscribe on YouTube. Because guess what? This show right now is streaming to YouTube. But I actually take this video in its higher resolution format, and I edit it properly. And well, I just do some chips off at the beginning and end.
So are you saying people can listen to us live now?
Right now, if you were so inclined, on stream on every look. So here's the deal.
So what you're saying is we got to watch what we say from now on. We no more sword ching chings.
Bruh, just don't fuck it up. Because if they watched it live, it's gonna be there. But Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. is almost always when we start. And if you are so inclined, this is streaming out to our Twitch. It's streaming out to our YouTube. You can watch us do this live, but if not, you can watch the video. It goes up. I'm trying to make sure it goes out the same day. The audio version goes out. The audio version, of course, is the same, highly edited, well taken care of product that you always get. The difference being, you don't get the old beginning anymore. You get the beginning that starts this stream. I'm not bothering putting the old beginning in the front of it no more, so you don't get all the information that I used to put at the beginning anymore. You're just going to get a quick little song. At some point, you'll hear Captain Crunch say, "Stays crunchy," and we keep the motherfucking moving. But if you watch it, I can't wait for Box to see it. The ending, I think, is something very special. And it's always, I think, it's worth watching the video version of the show, or just fast forwarding to the end if you're so inclined, just to see what I did with our show ending here, which, like I said, we'll get to show here in a little bit to my man Dan. So do so. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us over on Instagram. That's the place where we need more action. Of course, want 5-star reviews over on Apple Podcasts, which again has a web client now. You can do that on the web, even if you have an Android device or whatever. You don't, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't require, it will require you to make an account. But again, there's a full web interface for Apple Podcasts now. And like I said, it'd be great if you went over there and gave us a 5-star review. And if you are listening on Spotify, give us 5 stars there as well. The more we see, the more place we get, the bigger the show can grow. And you know what it is. But hey, if you want to support the show financially, got a few bucks tossed away, consider joining us over on Patreon. Members of the $5 tier get extra content each month. I've already put up a We Tried, where I tried Baja Blast Gelato and Star Wars Oreo. And they're about to get, it's like I said, done and edited and ready for your eyes to watch the video. Me and Vanessa trying the Coke Oreos and the Oreo Coke that we were just discussing. So that'll be going up sooner than later. And if you are the $5 or $5 here, you could be getting down with that. We also got merch over at tpublic.com/user/StageCrunchy milk, all one word. Them new phones is out, baby. You probably need a case for it. Why not make it a Stage Crunchy and milk case? Why not? Feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We would certainly love to hear from you. Let me tell you something. iOS 18 is out. iOS 18 added RCS, meaning when I send shit to Anthony and Box and anybody else in the Android ecosystem, everything looks right now. If I send a video, you won't get the little poster stamp anywhere. You'll get the full fat video. I can see when you're typing, if you're responding to me now, and I can see if you read a message because I have read receipt on. It's lovely. It's very nice. It's a feature that Apple should have been did, and word to Europe for forcing their hand on that shit, because the United States was never going to do anything about it. So that's a good time. Our missing man and soon to be father for the 3rd time is the 216's own Tatum. That is the eBay emperor. The hold on, but not the Palmer P. Diddy. Let's not get it twisted. No matter how much lube he has. Slushbox 2099.
Bow down to the king.
I am the internet's Taro 713. Don't make me push you to traffic. We'll do it again next week. Peace. Bosch got to watch this ending. I'm about to end the stream right now. Okay.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.